studio in South Florida, Twist Gaming. Featuring lead broadcaster, Matt Koza. Co-host and creative genius, Josh Perry. Co-host and interviewer extraordinaire, Ann Lazito. Co-host and marketing mogul, Aaron Murphy. With appearances from special guest, Lucy. Welcome to Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. We are coming to you live here from our studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you another episode of Twitch Plays Middara. But first off, who are we? I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
Josh.
And we're Twist Gaming. Thank you all for joining us here today. So for those of you joining us for the first time, or maybe if you've got a bad memory.
For the very first time.
Feels like the first time, at least. Twitch Plays Middara is an ongoing campaign of Middara, the Unintentional Malum Act 1.
An interactive campaign.
Where you guys are rolling dice like so. I'm just going to do this. It's going to give me 1 second. I'm going to go like there, and then I'm going to be like, I want a white, a teal, a green, a black, an orange, and a red. Do it. Just roll.
Y'all are going to be playing as one of the characters in the game, so quick, head over to the gear grid.
All right, you could do that. Check out that link there, and you can check out the different gear that everyone has. And look, when you roll these dice, you click that roll button or do the roll command in chat, and then Metal God's got it down, obviously, because he rolled all of the dice. But we'll request different dice like so, and you'll be able to do that. Give me a second here. Just need to do that. There we go. Reset that. But then you can also make decisions, talk about what you want to do, shout it out, and if we've got anything big and scary decision-wise, we'll put a poll up in chat as well. So Josh will do that as we need it. But before we get into things further, Josh, what happened last week on Twitch Plays Middara?
Chat died.
They got knocked out.
But they got up again.
Never going to keep them down. But you know it will be kept down, that mouse, because I can see it in the camera.
You're so... Do you, like, straighten
And the
rug
keyboard.
fringe,
And
too?
Huh? I
Do
can
you
still see-
straighten rug fringe?
Who has fringe on rugs? This isn't the 60s anymore. All right. Chat was slayed. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
unfortunately.
at the very beginning.
At the very beginning, yeah.
It
It
was
was
sad.
very unfortunate. But you're back up again, and we're going into another encounter within the White Spire. What? Oh, that was a nice burp there, Ann.
There was no burp.
I think everyone saw you burp. So we are in the White Spire, and we're going to keep going. So if any of you forgot, you all will be playing as Nightingale. You've got the Gore Shot ability, and you've got some magic wands in your possession. So I need your help, Ann. I need to switch over to the board can.
Oh, you're going to do that?
I need your help.
Okay, ready?
There's no sound effects. I need a sound effect.
You got to put the mic next to the thing so it sounds like a spaceship. Tinkle, tinkle, twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
Magic.
There we go. All right, so you're playing as Nightingale. We changed up the settings in
Yes.
here a little bit so you can see a little bit better about what you have as a kind of quick view. Again, you can definitely check out. Everyone remember the one gives you +2 to the
You
sphere
want
of
to go
influence.
through that?
was,
Just
yeah.
why don't we go through the Gore Shot and the 2 wands real quick so that everybody is...
Sure. Give me the card, and I'll show it off here. So Gore Shot is a spell that you're doing, essentially, and it's going to be a spell 6. So that means that you are going to roll a die equal to your casting level, which in your case I believe is a white die. Got to double check that. Yeah, it's a white die because of the wand that you have. So you roll the white die, you add 6 to it, and then it has to meet or beat the opponent's conviction roll. Yeah. So based off of that, as soon as you succeed, it's going to deal 2 magic damage. If you want, you can take 1 damage, irreducible damage, so it has to be a damage that you take, and then add an additional damage to your spell based off of the highest level Crore discipline, which is 1. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off right now. Not great. But if you need to do that additional 1 damages could be beneficial. So going into your weapons that you have, you're dual wielding some wands. So you've got the Wand of Missiles, which is going to give you a casting upgrade of white, and then the ability to exhaust to increase your sphere of influence by 1. And then for every double book that you roll is going to be +1 magic damage.
Did you say sphere of influence by 1?
2. Meant to say 2.
Okay.
You also are going to get the Wand of Hindsight. It is 20/20. But that's going to give you a casting upgrade of orange. So actually, orange is higher than white. So your casting is going to be an orange die, and then for the gore shot, it'll be orange +6.
And it's because you comboed it since you have another card that has wand.
Correct. That is correct.
They're very wandy.
I'm a wanderer.
Sure.
I'm a wanderer.
And they go around, 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 around. And so they can also exhaust this wand at any time to re-roll any dice except the black die that you or an ally within your sphere of influence rolled.
Yeah.
So, and
That
then
makes
this also has the 2 books for +1 magic damage. So this gives you a free re-roll, which is really nice.
There's stuff on the back. What is the stuff on the back of those cards?
So this is if you have it as a relic versus a weapon.
Oh, that's right.
So you could use this wand as a relic, and that gives it the once per encounter ability here, but then you lose it as a weapon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing for that for the other wand.
That is correct.
Okay.
You've also got 2 juice boxes. You've got an earring, which is a reroll. You've got the
And conviction upgrade.
correct. It is a conviction upgrade as well. You've got a cloak, which is going to give you some more dodge, and you've got the core, the defense core,
Yes.
which is another dodge.
Yes.
I'm playing as Zeke. I've got some pretty awesome swords. We'll show them off as I'm using them. I've also got too many belts. You know who else has too many belts?
I do.
And what does that mean, Josh?
That we really like fashion and we're really into belts.
Exactly. And Anne, how about you?
So I'm playing as Remi. I have a ranged weapon, and Remi's coolest bit is that she has the flight ability.
No. Your coolest bit is you have a plank.
I do. I have the plank, and Josh doesn't.
All right, so let's just jump right into things. We finished off last week on stage 2 of the Spire thing, so
Yeah.
we're into the gloom. I'm going to reread the story event here just to refresh everyone's memory. As you go deeper into the White Vaults, you are greeted by a pack of cavesicles. You draw out your weapons and prepare to fight when a rumbling causes you to pause. Further in the distance, something lumbers around a crumbling pillar. It's Josh, looking for Reese's.
He can't have them. He's angry.
No. It's an Earth Loa emerges and stumbles towards you. With a quick glance at your comrades, you commit to the fight. So long as you can defeat these cavesicles before the horrible rock creature gets too close, you should be fine.
So what is the movement on the Earth Loa?
So,
here's your card here.
I'll go through the monsters in just a minute. The win condition here is an adventurer ends their turn on the blue exit space.
Yeah.
So, Anne, can you point to the blue exit space, please?
You can't see it on the camera because it is behind the Earth Loa, but it is right there.
So, we know the cavesicles. We've fought them before.
Yeah.
They're not terrible. But the closer they are to each other, the more bonuses that they're going to get. So they've got this hive mind ability there, which is going to increase their attack dice based on however many other ones are in their sphere of influence, which can get really nasty really quick, especially because there's 4 of them on the map right now. So based off of that, they're going to try and do some ranged attacks, and we'll see that as it happens. They roll typically 2 white as their combat dice, but they'll get stronger with more of them. And then we've got the Earth Loa. And I forgot to mention, okay, so the cavesicles, 6 health, 8 defense, 6 movement, 0 armor. Not that tough in the grand scheme of things.
No, but they, as they gather up, they get much more difficult.
We've got the Earth Loa here. The Earth Loa has hulking. Josh, what's hulking?
That's
what
when
the
you
Hulk
too many
does.
gamma rays.
Figures cannot be moved by opponent's abilities or currents for any reason.
So basically, it's stoic. It's not going to move if you hit it and it says to move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a big freaking rock.
Yep. So it's going to do, is there an ally within the sphere of influence without barrier? So you actually can cast barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to affect this. Another ally within...
This gives other baddies barrier.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
He does what I do.
Gotcha.
terrible.
Is there more than one opponent adjacent? All opponents are dealt 2 magic damage and pushed 3 with force 11. Continue down. So he's going to push you 3 spaces away, and that's a force 11 check.
Yep.
Can it move and attack an opponent within reach 2? Move it to be within reach 2, then attack with reach 2, follow up, push 2, and inflict paralyze force 11. Otherwise, move towards the nearest opponent. So he's got 20 health, only 8 defense, but 5 armor
Yeah. So
and 4 movement.
there's a little blurb in this story about at the bottom in the box, the
Yep.
call-out box.
So it says, not all monsters are created equal. Without the proper items or disciplines, you'll find some creatures are very difficult to kill. Monsters with high armor values, like the Earthlow, are best taken care of with spells that deal magic damage, like Gore Shot.
Yeah,
You know why? Magic ignores armor.
it's pretty nice.
So if that isn't possible, try flanking them with disciplines that overcome armor, such as follow through. Lastly, many effects can render highly armored monsters useless, such as poison or paralyze. If none of these options are options due to your character builds, you can still finish most encounters without killing them. I think we want to try to kill them, though, right?
Of course.
Of course. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. You know what else I forgot to mention?
+2 Sphere of Influence seems pretty useful.
You know what else? He's got 2 teal dice as its combat dice.
Oh, we're going to get squished.
Yeah. But it can't cast. It's got 0 casting dice, which is interesting. So it just deals direct 2 magic damage. So this is going to be really nasty.
Yeah.
But we are going to be up first. I have the... We're going to get ready to start, rather. I've got the... Initiative deck.
So it's a little different than rolling dice. Here we have a deck of cards. We've put in all of our characters as well as the monsters we're going to be facing.
Cut it.
Cut it.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. So now we're going to see the order in which people are going to go. So first up, the Cavesicles. Cavesicles group 4 through 6. So for the record...
Oh, that's only one.
Yep, that is Cavesicle
Blue.
Lime.
That's...
Is that... That's...
Lime is 5. This is a blueberry.
I think that's like lemon. I guess, fine. We'll go blue raspberry. Okay?
I'll concede.
Okay. So Cavesicle Blue Raspberry is going to go first. But again, that's only one Cavesicle, which is the nice thing. Sorry, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to fix this.
Ooh.
Okay. So then, that'll go there. Next up, we've got, who do you think's going to go?
The other Cavesicles?
Nope, it's me!
Oh, God.
Okay. And then who do you think's going to go?
The other Cavesicles?
You're right. More
That
Cavesicles.
sounded about right.
So that's Cavesicle Cherry, Grape, and Creamsicle.
Mm-hmm.
Then, who do you think's going to go?
Josh.
You're correct! It's Rook time. All right, so I'll leave that to you to organize. Next up, who do you think's going to go?
Me.
You're right!
Dang, I'm good at this. I'm going to play the lotto today.
Okay. And then who do you think's going to go?
Some more Cavesicles just because.
That's not physically possible.
Just because. That's going to be Twitch.
It is going to be Twitch. And then you know who goes last?
Twitch, it happened. Oh, the Earth Loa.
The Earth Loa.
Oh.
Big scary guy goes last.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. All right, so we are going to begin the encounter. I think we're all ready to go. Anne, are you ready?
No.
Josh, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. So first up is and we all start with 2 SP.
3.
That's what I meant. 3 SP. There's 2 until the end of the tracker. That's where my head was at. All right, so Cavesicle Blue Raspberry is going to go first. So
Yes.
let's go through its thing.
They have sickle anatomy. They have immunity to poison.
Poisonment,
Yep.
yeah. And movement points are not increased by terrain or allies, so they get free movement, essentially. So, is there an opponent adjacent?
No.
Is there an opponent within range 4?
No.
Can it move and attack an opponent of range 4? It's got a movement of 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No.
So, that's not going to do anything.
That's nice.
Okay. I saw a comment about stalactites and stalagmites. What was it, Josh?
I saw a
Do you know the
sign.
difference between the two?
If you impale it on a stalagmite, does it become a Cavesicle sickle?
Ah.
Mites are the ones on the bottom, and tights are the one up top.
Tights?
Stalagmites stand mightily on the ground, while stalactites hold on tightly to the ceiling.
Your turn. You have to make it through Rook to move, which is 2 movement. But I put you in the back in case this happened because there was no way Rook was going to be able to have enough movement to get through you.
Why would you just not put Josh in the back?
Because then what if he went first?
I don't care.
That's why. That's why. Your concern for your fellow man is why.
So can I... Okay. So that green terrain over here, Josh, what does that mean?
It's... I can't remember the word for it. It's 2 movement to move out of it.
Does that give any advantage if I'm standing on it?
It gets a -1 to anyone attacking you, but it's also a -1 to anyone you attack.
Okay. So I am going to... Can I get to that space? Yes.
1, 2. What's your movement? Your
My
movement,
movement is
is
6. So I am going to spend 1 SP, and I am going to move onto that space and promptly end my turn.
Oh, this was boring.
That's what you get for putting Josh right in front of me.
Who goes next? You're going to get hit by all of those cavesicles.
They get -1 to their rolls. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
So, next up is going to be the 3 cavesicle group. So, first up, is there an opponent adjacent?
No.
This is cavesicle Cherry.
Put it there. Nobody wants to see you reading the card.
I don't want to cover the board. Is there an opponent within range 4?
Yes.
Am I within range 4?
Yes,
Hey,
you
I sure
are.
am. All right, so then he is going to move. So, make an attack 4.
He's going to move?
I'm sorry, he's going to make an attack range 4, then move to be adjacent to the opponent with the most damage within movement, then make a follow-up attack. All right.
Terrible.
So, I'm okay with this. So, it's going to make an attack on me as it is right now. So, how many cavesicles are within its sphere of influence?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The blue one is not, so 2 other ones.
Okay. So, that means it's going to roll 2 orange dice for its combat. So, chat, can you please roll 2 orange dice? And do I want to
Dodge? Do you have anything to dodge?
I have one thing. I'm not going to use it yet.
Is it an...
It's not a one-time use. I just don't want to use it yet. So they rolled a 7 and a 6.
So that's 13, and your defense
-1, so it's a 12.
is 10.
My defense is 10. Yes, it is.
So it hits.
For how much?
Well, 2.
They get +1 physical damage per shield.
3,
4
4.
4 damage. So my Curus is when you are dealt damage, reduce physical damage dealt to you by 2.
So 2 damage.
I'm going to take 2 damage.
Damage.
Then I've also got a passive ability. Oh, no, that's an exhaust. Sorry. So my too many belts is the first time each turn that you are dealt... oh, no, that's by a melee attack. So I'm going to exhaust my Curus. I'm going to take 2 damage.
Okay, Josh had an interesting point. He was looking up earlier if we get health between scenes. What did you
Get
find?
healed back up to half of your health.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. 9? Yeah, okay.
I only have 6 health.
You were at 8.
If he was...
You only heal up to half of your max health. So it's only for people who are really
Your max
injured, so
health
not-
is 12. So you didn't... You were above...
Oh, okay.
Your
I assumed we were at max health.
Nope.
All right, so that should have changed up my strategy. But whatever, I messed up then. So then he is going to move to be adjacent to me. So Anne, can you please move the cavesicle adjacent?
Yes.
How many were within its sphere of influence now?
1, 2, 3, 4. So just 1.
Okay, so he's going to roll a white and an orange die. So I am going to exhaust my too many belts to dodge. So that means I need a black die, please.
There you go. You can have Twitch roll the black die for you.
Nope.
So rude.
I rolled 3 defense.
They rolled the 6.
Wasted that. So that's good.
Does your thing
I am
refresh
now...
if you dodge and it succeeds?
It does not.
Oh.
However, I am going to spend my ability core right now, exhaust that, to counter.
Okay.
So I am going to re-attack this schmo, and
That's rude.
I am going to roll 2 orange dice, please. You heal nothing and like it.
You can also spend 1 SP to dodge in future rounds too.
So you have rolled an 8 and a 6.
Okay, so an 8 and a 6 is a 14. I get a -1 disadvantage because of the space that I'm in.
So 13.
However, their defense is 8.
So that's 5 points. Plus, do you get bonuses for... Do you want to put that in the thing so we can look at the icons? Do you get bonuses for the icons that you rolled? So
I sure do. So did I roll 2 shields?
You did.
That is +2 physical damage. I also rolled a star, which is +1 physical damage.
He's dead.
So I did a total of 8 damage.
Yeah.
He's got 6 health. He's dead.
He did. What does sounds make?
Cool story, bro.
Oh, wait. No, the whole group needs to be dead.
Yeah.
I got all excited.
So,
There's a treasure chest there.
yeah. So now, Cavesicle Grape is going to go. Is there an opponent within 4 spaces?
Yee, 1,
Range
2,
4.
3, 4, no.
Okay, so now it is going to... Can it make an attack? Can it move and attack an opponent within range 4?
Oh, yeah.
Move it to be within range 4 of the nearest opponent.
Okay.
And then it make an attack 4.
'Kay.
So how many are within sphere of influence of it?
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
1. So it's
So
going to
orange
roll
and white.
a white and an orange. I don't have any more dodges, unfortunately.
You can spend 1 SP to dodge.
Healing is for white mages. Where are the white mages? We don't have any. Ah, Josh kind of is.
I'm not going to dodge right now. Oh, I should have.
Yeah, it's an 8 and a 3 is an 11, and it hits.
The 10
it's a 10.
just hits.
Yeah.
Okay. And it rolled how many
1 shield.
shields? So it's going to do 1 damage to me.
Okay.
I'm okay with this.
You need some consumables.
I do.
Just not a plank.
People don't want to share it with me. Okay. So that's Cavesicle Grape. Now Cavesicle Orange is going to go.
Yeah.
I've got
That's
5.
all it does? There's no follow-up on that one?
No.
Okay.
So it's bad when they start within a range 4 of you.
Yeah.
So now Cavesicle Orange is going to go. So Anne, does
No, and then yes.
thank you. So move it so that it is just within range.
1, 2. Well, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to go here. Decided.
How many are in Sphere of Influence of it?
1.
So it's going to roll a white and an orange. I don't think it's going to do 5 damage to me. So I will not spend an SP to dodge.
What are you doing with that SP? Like, what are you banking it for?
So he's max SP on his next turn.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go and kill some stuff.
7. That's not bad.
So I'm fine. It doesn't hit me.
Nope. You
All
good.
right. So that is the end of that. So now it's going to go to Josh's turn.
He's going to move 1 space.
Now, hold on. What I wanted to say was, Mr. Tank, that is how you tank. This ends our public service announcement on tanking.
The more you know.
7 minus 1. It did. So it hit with a 6, which is still definitely not enough. All right. So, Josh, what are you doing?
Do you have any armor, or is the armor up there from the berry you used to have?
I do not have any armor.
From the what he used to have?
The
oh,
barrier
the barrier.
that Josh should have given me. From last time. I mean, it doesn't stick around.
How about you? You got 2 from what?
I should just have 1, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Josh is the only one with 1 inherent armor because of the shield.
Yep.
Where are you going?
No, I
Ricky?
should have 2 armor.
Oh, no, that's a lie. My ability core
Yeah.
gives me... Oh, no, that's
No,
plus
your-
defense. So I have 10
Your
defense, yeah.
Your Curious gives you 1.
Oh, no, yeah, I do have 1 armor.
So you should have taken 2 less damage.
2?
Yeah.
Why 2?
He considered the Curus.
Why 2 less damage?
Because you got attacked twice.
Oh, I
and you
did.
didn't
You're
reduce
right.
your armor. You didn't reduce that by 1
Okay,
each time.
cool. So I only took 1 damage in total.
2.
You said I started at 8.
I think you started at 9? I don't know. You're at 7.
Oh, boy. Okay. So that means that... Oh, that's the table. It's going to be Josh's turn. So, Josh, what are you doing?
I think I could get into range of the orange one, can't
Pause.
Question, what equipment our character had? My phone connection restarted. I missed that part. So let me send you that link. So check the chat right there, and you can click on that and see what gear your character has. But you've got Gore Shot, you've got a defense core, you've got 2 of the juice boxes, and you've got 2 different wands that is going to increase your casting to an orange die and give you some other abilities too, like an additional sphere of influence if you tap it.
Now you can go.
All right, Matt, I will give you a barrier.
Okay.
Can you do it within that sphere? Because it's 4?
Mm-hmm.
Sphere of influence.
Yeah, I didn't get the rest of the words out. They were here. They didn't.
I got you. Range attack, follow up, attack, close to range attack, close to range, miss. So the follow up missed. So the range attack hit, the follow up missed, the next range attack hit, and then the final range attack missed. Yes.
So, Anne, can you put me right next? I should be able to get right up to orange.
Josh, increase my armor by 1. Thank you. So you want to go up side by side
for
with
the
me?
barrier.
No, I want to go right. I can
What?
hit.
Get that. Where are
Keep
you
go-
going?
Keep going.
This orange.
Yeah,
Here?
1 closer to you.
Here?
Yes, there. That's 6 movement.
Yes, it is.
He can count.
And I'm going to attack.
Are you?
So what do you attack with, Josh?
Give me your thing. I
what
like.
thing?
Give me the Morning Star card. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't care about the shield. I
I'm
like it when
using
we.
both of them though.
Also, I can see. I like it
Alright.
because I can see.
So Josh, go ahead and roll. Trying to see what you got here. Got some stuff, some things. So you're rolling a white and a purple?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, 2 whites because combo melee.
Ah,
Give
Finesse.
some finesse for white.
Finesse.
I rolled a 13.
What does a 13 give you?
So the Cavesicle's defense is 8. You don't have to hand it to me.
there's icons on there. I want to see
It
the icons and how they
Doesn't
add.
even matter.
Oh, why? Because it's dead?
Well, it does matter, I guess. So you rolled a 13.
Yeah.
You also rolled some icons here. So because you rolled 4 shields, you're going to get +4 physical damage, plus another +1 physical damage from the star. And then follow up, if the target of your attack was defeated, move up 2 spaces.
That's cool.
Up to 2 spaces. So Josh did defeat that Cavesicle, so can you please kill Cavesicle Orange?
Yeah, ready?
And then you get to move up to 2 spaces, Josh.
I would be a purple space.
There you go.
All right.
Uh,
So then
got me,
Josh
great.
is attacking again.
No,
Here you go.
I have no more SP.
Oh,
No.
so you just get to
Tank.
hang out there?
He's gonna
Good
tank.
thing.
Okay.
But the reason for that is that he also has counter abilities.
Oh, that's right. So if you get attacked and what is the condition for counter?
If the attack that the opponent does inflict 0 damage,
Okay.
then you can counter.
Whether you're hit and you just were able to armor out the damage as long as it's 0?
Correct. Whether it does completely less than your defense, or the armor zeroes it out, or something.
2 down.
1 to go for that group. So next up is going to be Remi.
Hey, that's me.
Remi Ma.
Okay, I'm just gonna move. I think I need to get a little bit closer.
My kind of gal, so big and so strong.
Three.
What?
That's weird. My movement is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Oh, that's not me anymore. Okay, and just spend 1.
All right, and then next up is Nightingale.
Should I have moved there, or should I be out of Nightingale's way?
I mean, it's a jerk move by you. It's fine.
That's rude. I'm going to just back up here. Yeah, that's fine.
So the question here for chat is, do they want to go in and gore shot Cavesicle Grape? Isn't a bad thing. Or they can move forward, save up their SP, so that way when they get to the Earth Loa, they can go ham.
This is a question for y'all. What strategy do you want to go with your character?
So I think personally that what I would do here is bank my SP, move forward, so that way you go up to max next time, and then next turn you should be able to take 1 singular move action to get into range of the Earth Loa.
Yeah.
And then just
Spam
fire
it.
away.
Well, and the Earth Loa is going to move, right? Because
no, he's not gonna move.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What's the very bottom one? If nothing is nearby it.
He is going to move towards the nearest opponent.
Oh. I may or may not have been paying attention.
Nah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, don't forget that they could expand their sphere of influence.
By +2 with the ones.
Yeah, so that's pretty significant.
What's Nightingale's movement? Is a 6?
I don't know.
I say move the 1 SP and just run up.
Let's do it.
All right.
So go ahead. They're going to drop 1 SP,
Okay.
and then they are
2,
going
3,
to.
4, 5, 6.
Oh, they're saying move up behind Rook for cover.
Oh, well, okay.
Rook's attack is called Complain About Not Being Close Enough, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, I one-shotted a Cavesicle today. I actually did something.
You
I-
did. High 5.
I one-shot at a Cavesicle.
And you have a super weapon.
You're
Oh.
welcome.
I one-shot at 2 Cavesicles.
All right, let's go.
That's how he shuts you up.
I
Earth
really only
Loa.
one-shotted 1. So Earth Loa is going to go now. So Earth Loa is going to. Is there an ally within sphere of influence without barrier?
No.
No.
That's not 4. Sphere of influence is 4.
Yeah, he's 4 away.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it is.
So he's going to gain barrier.
What is barrier?
Barrier's
+1 armor.
+1 armor. All right. So then, is there more than 1 opponent adjacent?
No.
No.
Can it move and attack an opponent within reach 2?
No.
Its movement?
Yeah, its movement
6.
is 4.
No.
It's got the same
Slower
movement as
than
you,
Rook.
Josh. And then otherwise move towards the nearest opponent.
Okay. This is green. Does it want to move? Does it move in here? Right. Does this impede
That
movement?
impedes movement, yes.
1. Does it impede movement going in?
No,
Go
out.
of. I think he would
2,
go around.
3, 4. You don't know.
'Kay.
Have you had an
Round
in-depth
two.
conversation with him to discuss his...
Yes, now be quiet. All right, so next up is Capesicle Blue Raspberry. I'm kidding.
Nice
I'm
green
kidding.
on the card. Yeah.
Hulking. Hulking is it doesn't help you with movement there. It
You can't
doesn't let you get moved.
You can't shove it.
Can't
Yeah.
push it. So I can't push it in the hole.
TLC is less effective against it
Tender loving care.
because they made the song
Push
Push
it.
It. Push It.
Push
real
it good.
Yeah. All right, so next up is Capesicle Blue Raspberry. So, is there an opponent adjacent?
No.
No.
Is there an opponent within range 4?
No.
You already thought of it. Can it move and attack an opponent within range 4?
Yes!
All right, so go ahead and move it so it is 4 spaces away from the nearest opponent.
What was the rules on line of sight with other allies?
I think it gets a penalty,
I think that you're right. I feel like there was a thing.
but it can go someplace
One,
in.
two, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. What was its
Movement
thing?
of 6. So it still
1,
wants to be
2, 3,
6.
4,
Still wants to be 4 spaces away from Josh, but it would move,
5 here-ish.
Yeah. That should be
Yeah.
good.
and then it gets clear center to center line of sight.
Yeah.
Cool. So
And
it's going to. How many other Loas or Capesicles are in the sphere of
One.
influence? So we need to roll an orange and a white. Josh is all about replacing Ann on tonight's stream.
he's talking. I'm okay with this.
Yeah. So,
You're
Josh,
all
are you
psyched.
dodging or anything? Hurry up. You've got 2 seconds. 1, 2.
No,
Nope,
you're
not
not.
dodging.
Good talk.
So they rolled a 6 and they rolled a 4.
That's a 10.
Hey,
Okay.
Josh has 10 defense.
It hurts.
So it does hit, but it has how many shields? It has 2 shields, so that is plus 2 damage. Josh has 2 armor, so it does nothing.
Ha.
That's it. So then next up, it is going to be my turn.
Yay! No.
All right, so I'm going to go up to the max HP. So if I go, one movement is
Go kill a blueberry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's going to get targeted by the Earth Loa if he gets up that close.
Okay, so then these all reset.
Yeah. All of the items that you've exhausted.
Sure, let's have some fun with this. So can I counter a failed follow-up attack, Josh? Failed. What's the attack when you move into or out of
Break attack?
break attack?
Yes, you could.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 movement. I
Okay.
am now going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces
To where?
next to Capesicle Grape. So when it interrupts my movement, does it just stop my movement altogether, Josh?
4. That's a danger zone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can't go there.
Welcome to.
Highway to the danger zone?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Unless you want to jump it.
5, 6.
And you could get a thing. You
No,
could get
so
an assist with a jump.
No. Move me 6 spaces along the path.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now I'm going to tap my sword and move diagonally 1 space.
Into the other hole?
There's
No,
I can't see
the
that
other
there's a
way.
Sorry,
hole
yeah.
there.
This,
No,
the,
the
these
other-
two are holes.
But towards the camera.
Here?
No, that's not what I want.
No, he wants to try and attack this
Yeah, I
one.
was trying to attack both of them.
So I say
together.
go here and jump this thing with an assist.
So where can I go?
1, 2, 3. Jump the hole. Go here.
Or you can
Oh,
just...
can he split move? Yeah, you can. That would still
no,
your
or
movement.
he can just go to 5 and then use the diagonal
Oh yeah.
to get there.
4, 5, and a
No, I'd
diagonal.
rather not use my sword if I don't have to.
So then go here and jump.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll
I
jump.
give you assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do I need to roll to jump?
Nothing, because my strength plus your agility is over 10, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Does this count as 1 space?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then
I stop there.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to attack the Capesicle Grape.
Yeah.
So I'm attacking with 2 orange.
And then you could use your sword and move diagonally and get the blue. Look at that.
So I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Here, duh.
So that misses, because that sucks. But what I'm going to do here is, because I didn't use my sword to move diagonally, I'm going to go ahead and tap. Do I want to tap that?
Tap it to what? Attack it again?
Hey, Anne.
What?
Oh, no, it's Twitch. Hey, Twitch. Do you guys want to tap your wand and then give me a reroll of my die? I think
No, they gotta attack that thing.
it resets on their turn.
Tap our wand for reroll.
Resets automatically on their turn. Yeah. Look at you, Metal God. You're awesome. All right, so
Roll
now
better.
I roll a 2 again. So now I'm going to tap my sword.
Wait, what number is that, Matthew?
It's 2 again. I'm going to tap my sword. And let's try this one more time.
Matt, I'd rather you not tap your sword. Do a second attack.
Oh,
and
you're
if it
right.
doesn't work, go over to the blue and then try to take that
You're-
out. Because I could probably counter and
Yes.
kill this.
No, you're right. You're right. So that was 2 SP for that. I am now going to spend my Blade Works ability
Roll better.
and roll both my dice.
Better. An
8 and a 3.
That hits.
It does hit. I don't think it's enough to kill it, though. So its defense is 8.
You got some icons there.
I do. Your dog is being annoying. So I'm only going to do 1 additional damage there. So 8 plus 3 is
11.
11. So plus 1.
12.
12 minus 8.
4.
So I'm going to do 4 damage.
Not dead.
Not dead.
Not dead.
So then I'm going to use my sword to move diagonally.
Do you have
He's
the...
going to do a break attack.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Can you counter on a break attack? Also, these...
Yes.
Do you have the... Oh, you have the purple one. I got the other one.
So he's going to do a break attack. And that was which one?
Purple?
Purple.
3 and 1.
So he's going to attack me with an orange and a white.
Are you going to dodge?
Yes, I am. So I am going to spend the dodge of my too many belts.
And you...
I rolled 1 shield. Helps a little. All right. And they rolled a 4 and a 5.
A 9. You're good.
So I didn't even need to dodge, but that's good. Now I'm going to spend my ability core to counter said dodge.
And are you going to finally kill the grape one? Don't
Maybe.
roll a 2.
How about a 3?
Eh.
So I rolled a 6 and a 3, which is a 9. Its defense is an 8.
Yeah.
I do 1 damage.
It's good.
Oh, no. Shoot, I forgot about this. I completely forgot that my sword had the your attack gains +1 physical damage.
All right, so you do 2.
Additional
so,
damage?
Yeah, 2 additional damage.
So
So he's
now
dead.
it has 6.
He's dead.
Okay, wait.
All right.
My sound effects are the best.
Oh, guess what?
Oh, we get a little thing!
Yeah, where's the loot cards?
Right here.
Loot cards.
And what do we get for loot?
We got
5
5 books.
Can I show it off in the camera?
5
Nope.
gold
All
hand
right.
rings.
Did you steal my... No, I put it here. Just kidding.
So then I do my move diagonally.
Yeah,
So can you diagonally move me in?
yeah. With the force. Give me 2 seconds.
Grape got juiced.
What's today's date? The 20th?
The 21st. All right, so now I'm going to spend my...
What?
Yes, I'm going to spend my last 2 SP, and I'm going to attack Blue Raspberry.
'Kay.
And I rolled a 6 and a 6.
12.
That is 12. I rolled two shields. That is +2 physical damage, so that's 14. Plus
'Kay, yeah,
1
we're done.
damage, so that is
Is dead.
15. 15 is 7 more than 8, so it's going to do 7 damage. He has 6 health, so he dead.
Oh, wait. Did you consider that he has barrier?
He does have 1 armor.
So that reduces the damage by 1. So he's going to do 6 damage, which it has 6 health, so it's dead. So we
And
get more
guess what?
loot.
More loot.
I like it. I like it a lot.
8. That was 1 rich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was one singularly rich cavesicle.
It's because we sold his armor.
it was magic armor.
That's why we sold it for so much.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, what?
Oh, that's blue loot. Cool.
Do we trigger anything for killing all the cavesicles or no?
No. So, it is now going to be... Well, none of the cavesicles turn because they're all dead. So, Josh, it's your turn.
I'm grabbing the loot.
All right, so, Josh, you're going to spend 2 SP, 1 to move over next to the loot. I'm assuming you're going to go, like, here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you're going to spend another SP
Grab
to
the loot.
grab the loot. And you find a pile of treasure. Gain 10 gold
Ooh.
and 2 random consumables.
Ooh, mundane. I wish it was like the great consumables. However, 10 gold, pretty good.
It doesn't say mundane. It just says 2 random consumables.
We're at
Yes.
mundane level, so we get mundane consumables.
Oh, yes, it does say level mundane.
What are you... Oh, you're drawing?
Sure.
So we got 2
2 throwing stars.
How many planks did you get?
throwing knives.
Throwing knives.
How many planks
No
did
planks.
you get?
And then
How
I'm,
many planks does it get to the Tootsie Roll center of an Earth Loa?
I'm casting
1.
barrier on me.
That's rude.
All right, so now it is going to be
Can you remove the loot token, please?
My turn.
Nightingale's turn.
No.
Plank envy. So
Nope, it's in the other one.
Nightingale, what are you doing?
I'm gonna fly.
Why fly?
Like an eagle. Probably not. So my 1, 2, 3, I go back up to 5. So my movement is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's this thing's movement? 4?
4.
What's its range attack?
I don't. It does not have a ranged attack. It only has a melee attack.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it has reach 2 though.
So I just need to stay out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I guess I could go here. There's not really much I can do.
You don't block Twitch's movement, right?
No.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That sets you up pretty good.
So I move 1. Is there anything else I can? I mean, I have. Nope. That's. Oh damn.
Well, don't forget you gain 3 SP on your turn, so
I went the wrong way.
don't waste it.
1, 2, 3. They moved 1. I moved the wrong slider. Yeah. So I have 2 more SP. But I don't know if there's anything that I can do.
You can move additional spaces.
But to what end is kind of what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, I can throw my throwing
Stay away from the
knives.
holes. It has push.
That's true. Didn't even think of that. I mean, you could just end your turn there. That's fair enough.
I could throw my throwing knives at it. What's the range of my throwing knives?
Sphere of Influence, I'm assuming? No? Or is it just across
no,
the map?
it's across the map, but it only gets purple. It has 5 armor, so you're not going to do any damage with it. 'Cause it's a physical attack.
Cool. So then I'm just going to end my turn standing right there.
So it would be beneficial for us to flank this mofo, too. FYI.
So I need to be able to fly behind it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So perhaps on the next turn, because he's going to run 4 spaces forward
Yep.
at the end of this round,
Yep.
then we can kind of all swarm around him and
Yep.
go ham.
Yep.
All right, so it's now Twitch's turn. So Twitch goes up to full SP.
We move 1 space forward and end our turn.
Let him come.
'Kay.
Why 1 space forward?
I'm assuming that's going to put them in just the perfect
Core
range.
shot range. Core shot range. Because he's going to be here.
So how many spaces is he away right now?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After moving 1, so 10.
Okay. Yeah, well, you could tap for Sphere of Influence 6, so they can move close enough to be within range 6 right now, which would give them the ability to spam Goreshot a little bit, and then he would not be able to reach them on his subsequent turn.
Even with his reach.
So he has 4 movement and reach 2.
So then yes.
Reach 2 just means he could reach 1 additional space away, or am I
Yeah.
reading that wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
So he would be able to go 5 spaces?
If there's 6 spaces away, including the space they're on, that would be enough.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Is that right?
Because there'd be 5 spaces
1,
between
2,
them.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
So are we staying?
Yeah, they'll stay, and then next turn is they'll spammy.
Okay.
Okay, so now the Earthlow is going to go.
If we move to attack now, we are in range, yeah.
Is there an ally within Sphere of Influence without barrier?
No.
Nope. All their allies are dead.
Is there more than one opponent adjacent?
No.
Can it move and attack an opponent within range 2?
Nope.
So move 4 spaces.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Now it's time for the fun. Here comes the fun. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Your turn.
It
So
is indeed
Matt,
my turn.
What you could do
Yeah.
is you only trigger a break attack once.
Yeah.
So if you want, you could run to his behind, trigger a break attack, and then you would be there for me to flank him.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Does he have enough movement to get back there?
So I have 6 movement.
Yeah, he has just enough movement to get back there.
Okay.
Sure, let's do that. So I'm going to spend 1 SP to go behind him.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and this is where you're at.
So then it'll trigger a break attack.
4. Is that a wall? No, that's fine.
That's good.
So I am going to exhaust a dodge.
Damn right, you're gonna exhaust the dodge.
I really wish it would have healed me first. So now he's going to attack me with 2 teal dice.
He's got 7 health. Yeah, I don't know how much thought you put into this before you thought about it.
He's got 3 armor. 2 armor.
Why does it say 1 armor?
Because he
I
never
never
updated
updated the
it,
sheet
even
with
though
the
I asked him
barrier.
to do it.
Why? What are you doing now?
Diddling around.
That's a 7 and a 6.
That's a 13.
That is 13. And then he's also going to get +1 damage for each shield.
Sorry.
So how much shields? He has 3 shields?
3 shields.
So plus
Jesus.
3. So that's 16, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on here. So that's 16. I've got 10 defense, so that's 6.
Yeah.
I've got 2 armor, so that's 4.
Yep.
I'm going
Did
to
you roll your dodge?
I did not roll my dodge die. Thank you.
Right at the edge of the table, right in front of you.
No book, no shields.
Good job.
Hold on. I'm going to exhaust my Curus, which is going to reduce the amount of physical damage that I receive by 2.
Okay. So it's down to 2 damage.
My Too Many Belts also auto-activates because it's a passive ability, and it's the first time each turn you are dealt physical damage by a melee attack, reduce the physical damage dealt to you by 2.
So you take 0 damage. Guess what you can do?
I am going to now trigger a counter
Counter?
with my ability core.
What are you rolling?
2 orange dice, but I need to roll higher than 13 in order to even scratch him.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa, okay, that was not a roll. 6 and a 6.
That's a 12.
That is a 12, but a 12, unfortunately, is not a 13.
Do you get +1 to your roll or +1 physical damage?
+1 physical damage.
Okay.
So the question is, do I want to re-roll one of my combat dice for a 2? Is that yeah, it's a 2 out of 6
I
chance.
don't think it's worth it.
Chat could also potentially give me their re-roll from their wand. Right? Or no, they're not. They're not close enough. Yeah, they're not close enough. Trying to think here. Because I'm not going to attack the rest of my turn anyways. So why would...
Oh, you don't have enough SP?
You have your ability.
That's true, I do. So it's a 1/3 chance of me re-rolling and doing enough damage, enough to actually hit him once.
And a 2/3 not to. And if you go and do a brand new roll...
So wait, actually, hold on.
hold
I
the
just
phone.
have to I have to beat his defense, not his defense plus his armor.
Yeah.
So technically I do hit.
Why? Put it... What's his
yeah,
defense?
you hit if
So
you don't
I'm
pass
sorry,
the
I
armor.
hit. Yeah, so his
Yes.
defense is 8, so I actually hit.
No, you hit.
Oh. Okay.
So then he just reduces the damage that I do by 5
Yeah.
Which means he takes 0 damage.
right now.
But you have
so
+1.
I did 12, but I did +1 from my sword, so that's going to give me that evens it out, so it's 0. But then I've got 2 shields, so that it increases my physical damage by 2. So I do 2 damage to him.
You're all worried.
So now I'm going to continue my movement behind him.
Here, right?
Yeah. So now I am going to
Attack!
use my blade works, and then I'm going to attack.
It's kind of a boss fight.
Yeah.
He's the big baddie.
I mean, the rulebook tells you that you probably shouldn't bother fighting him. But we're stubborn. I rolled an 8 and a 6.
Wish you'd rolled that before. It's okay now.
That's even better, though. So, again, he has 13.
Okay.
He's going to reduce my stuff by 13, right? Right. So, I did 8 plus 6 is 14.
Yeah.
So I do 1 damage off the bat there, plus 1 physical damage from my longsword,
Okay.
plus 1 physical damage because of the star,
3. Plus you did the 2 shields.
so plus 2 more.
5.
So I do 5 damage to him.
Okay.
Hey, I'm pretty good. All right.
Not too shabby.
So I'm actually going to save my SP here. So that way I can use more of it next turn
What would you have used it on?
to attack again.
Also, he has the chance to counter as well when you get attacked. So you can spend 2 SP to counter
That's true.
or dodge.
Yeah, but I want to save it so that way it's more
With the
beneficial
flank.
for when we're in flanking.
Okay. So then
Yeah, that altogether though, that wasn't bad. I did 7 damage to him. He's got 20 health, and he doesn't heal like the animate does.
That's good.
All right, so now it is going to be Rook's turn.
All right.
Rook, it rhymes with schmuck.
Snook like a fish. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So wait a minute.
guys are
Don't
so
you
cute when
trigger a
kiss.
break attack because he's got reach too?
I think
I thought that it did.
I know hers is a special ability.
Yeah, I have us
Oh.
within
That you can.
opponents in reach 2 provoke break attacks from me. If you ever miss with an attack, well, it doesn't say for me. Opponents within reach 2 provoke break attacks. If you ever miss with an attack using this ability, exhaust the card. You may not use that ability until this card is unexhausted. So it's an ability.
Okay, so that was a special case, is what you're saying.
Maybe.
I'm just verifying this right now.
Verifying.
Want to make sure we're doing it right. Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo-boo-doo-doo.
That's specifically diagonals in break attacks.
Where? I can't see. No. No, break attack is just when you move out of attacking range. Or move through attacking range, rather.
Isn't there an index in the back?
That's what I'm going to.
One page at a time.
It's not on the very last page. Break attacks, page 44.
Do you ever go back and watch the faces that Matt and I make when you say things like that? Break attack and reach.
Where'd your mic go?
I turned it up so I could drink.
Oh.
Look at my cup that Matt.
Just says adjacent spaces. It doesn't say.
Okay, so she's got special designation because of
Oh.
that. Cool. All right, so then you don't provoke the break attack. So it is now your turn, Washaja.
Okay, hold on. But can we all just take a minute and look at how cute my cup is
It's-
that Matt got me for my birthday?
It's gorgeous.
So I get
really is.
+1.
Yes. +1 to your attack, +3 to your damage. So again, your attack just needs to beat an 8 in order to hit.
That's a 10.
Okay, so 10 is greater than 8.
Okay. Well, it's going to be an 11 because I get the +1.
That's correct. So what else do you get?
+2 more damage.
From?
The Morning Star for those 2 shields.
Okay.
Okay.
So
11.
you said it's 11 plus an additional 2 damage, so that's 13 plus
13
an
plus
additional
3.
3 damage, so that
That's
is 16.
total.
He has 13 mitigation, so you're going to do 3 damage to him.
Sweet.
Here is a 3.
Thank you.
The noodle.
All
That's
right.
all I can do.
Cool. So that is going to be the end of Rook's turn. It's now Remi's turn.
Hey now. Okay, you two are flanking him, which means I cannot.
So what is the actual text of flanking, Josh? Because I'm curious as if she moves into the space adjacent to Rook, if you would still get said flanking bonus, because
It has to be on the opposite side of
the direct opposite
the
side.
direct opposite side, yeah.
Okay. And she has to be adjacent to the monster as well. She can't utilize her reach as part of it.
I think you might be able to utilize the
Can
reach,
I
that's what I'm
attack
checking.
through you?
Yes, but you would suffer a penalty.
I don't know about that. Flanking is page 50.
Furfter.
A penalty at the attack roll?
Yeah,
What is it?
a penalty. It's a negative effect. I think.
You can flank behind Rook with reach 2. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
So is there a penalty to the attack roll? I think. Josh, look up attacking through frenemies.
I'm trying to find.
Do you need me to spell frenemy?
Do it faster.
J-O-S-H-U-I.
All right, so Anne, you're going to move.
U-A frenemy. Well, hold on.
You're still going to move, right?
Yeah, but where am I going to move to? You need to have a destination before you leave.
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Not in front of her.
So it says melee attacks can be made at range X. They are still considered melee attacks. Empty spaces that figures can attack through may be counted for the purpose of flanking.
Okay, so she does still get the flanking bonus.
Empty spaces?
But it's empty spaces, it says.
You're...
So then would you not get the flanking bonus?
Look at all the questions.
The steam is coming out of his hair, his
I-
ears.
His hair? Each
I don't
little
know.
hair?
I don't. But
So what's the ruling of attacking through a friendly?
let me look up ranged attacks because I don't see
It's
anything.
not a ranged attack, though.
It's reach.
There's nothing in the guide for that.
Unless Metal God weighs in here, and then I'll just take what he says. Right?
I feel like that's the right way to go.
I like just
They
watching.
give -1 to attack rolls.
Okay.
I feel it is one of those unique situations that is probably in an FAQ somewhere.
So I'm going
Yeah.
to say that you still get the flanking bonus because you're attacking through that space, but you would get the negative effect. So you basically get a net 0 on your attack roll, but you would still get the positive 3 damage.
Speed internet. All right, but stop pushing me around emotionally. Okay, that's my halberd.
This is my halberd. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun.
What? I have not heard this song. Okay, my halberd is 2 white die, and I want Twitch to roll for me.
Roll for yourself.
No,
No, they roll for their own character.
You're so lame.
You just did it last time because they died.
But I don't want to roll bad.
Like
An
that?
8 is a bad roll.
So
Technically hit.
technically, yeah, that's a hit.
Is it really?
Well, it's an 8. And he has 8 defense.
It is a hit. It doesn't do much more than that. Do I get?
You get +3 damage from flanking. Do you get any other plus damage bonuses? Do you have any
No.
stars?
No.
Do you have any shields?
I have 1, but it's not 2.
All right, so that means that you are going to do no damage. 'Kay,
yes.
cool.
Okay, cool. Well, that was fun, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to attack again?
Can I?
Why not? You have the SP, don't you?
I moved once.
You
And
spend 2
then-
SP to attack.
And I have 2 more. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again.
Okay, where's your halberd?
Right here.
Don't you want to show it off on the camera?
I
Ann?
do. I do. That's a 9.
A 9 is a hit.
Oh, and I have 2 things.
You have 2 what?
Shields.
Shields or books?
Shields. So it's +2 physical damage.
All right, so +2 physical damage, so 9 plus 2
Is 11.
plus 3,
Is 14.
and he has
13.
13 armor, so you
You
do
do
1
damage.
damage. Oh, I got it, it's fine.
And
Oh.
then because I did 1 damage, I get to heal 1.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm so proud of you, Ann.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, so now it is Twitch's turn. So, are they within range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if they tap their wand, they would be within range.
And I think that's what they were saying that they wanted to do
Yeah,
before
so
they played.
they are at max SP. So now they are going to. So let's think about this for a second here. Hold on. The monster has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The monster's got only 9 health left.
That's not bad. And how much does the magic damage do?
It does 2 for each one that hits, or they can spend 1, take 1 additional damage to make it 3.
2 for each one that hits. And how many SP to spend to hit?
Only 1 is spent per
so
gore
they have
shot.
5.
5 gore shots.
They could spend all their SP and kill it. Tap and pew 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 pew.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's what they're going to also. And what's their once per showdown ability?
So they have ambitious. Is your name Anne?
Yep.
Interesting. Which means all other allies gain 1 SP and Nightingale gains 2 SP. So if you use your once per encounter ability, everybody in the club getting SP in.
Everybody in the club getting SP. Everybody in the club getting SP. But that means that gives her 2 more gore shots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do what at 1.1, which we're not playing with those rules, turns gore shot to a tap, and no more SP cost. It's once per a turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not
They made it a little bit stronger too.
Oh. So in the meantime, though, their casting die is an orange die, so it's going to be orange plus 6, but then it needs to beat the conviction roll of the Earth Loa, which is 2 white dice.
Oh, we pew pew it all day.
We be pew pew pew. Now this is a yeet pew pew for sure.
Not a Kobe.
So they rolled a 6. So 6 plus 6.
12.
Then the conviction roll is a 6 and a 2. 6 plus 2.
8.
8 is less than 12.
Sure is.
So they're going to do 2 damage to the Earth Loa.
Oh, yeah. Do you need anything?
I do need I got it. That's fine. Thank you. And so then that moves them down 1 SPN.
'Kay.
And they go and do it again. So let's clear them dice, and they're going to roll an orange and 2 white. So the orange is going to be theirs to add plus 6 to, and then the whites are going to be the conviction roll for the Earth Loa.
Earthlow doesn't have very good conviction.
No.
I think that was the whole point.
They rolled a 7. So 7 plus 6.
13.
They rolled 6 total.
So 13 is greater than 6.
2 more.
So 2 more damage to the Earth Loa.
Going down again.
So they spend 1 more SP, and they're going to attack 1 more time. So, and reduce their SP by...
I did.
So they've used 3 now?
They hit twice. Boom, boom, and this is the third one.
Right, so reduce it 1 more. All right, so then they rolled an 8. Their
Yeah.
gore shots are getting stronger. So 8 plus 6?
A number. 14.
Better than
9.
3 plus 6?
9.
9.
14 is greater than 9.
No.
It is.
Yeah?
I think so. So you're going to do another 2 damage. So right now, let's just do some math. That's 6. That's 6.
Carry the
6
3.
plus 6 is 12. Plus 5 is 7. So they're going to spend...
One more?
The Earth Loa has 3 health left. So they're going to spend another SP, and they are going to attack again. So they're going to roll an orange and 2 white dice.
And then they have one more after this.
Yeah. And then if they use their once per encounter ability, they get 2 more shots too.
I might murder you.
Why?
Because you're playing with the dice.
I have to play with the dice.
It's in the corner of my eye. Play with it with that hand. That's really mean! That was not nice!
Did I hit you that hard? I'm sorry.
I
Right on the
hurt.
knuckles.
Oh.
You're
I
like
hit,
a nun
no, it hit
at
the
school.
It hit the table more than
Oh,
that.
is that what that bang
Yeah.
was? I thought it was his...
You hit me across like 3 knuckles at once.
That's
All right, so 6 plus 6?
12.
5 plus 2?
7.
12 is greater than 7?
No.
No, then it fails.
Okay. One more time.
All right, so
One more time.
so the Earth Loa, this mighty, mighty Earth Loa, has 1 health left.
This is... I feel like... Are we doing this wrong?
No,
Are you sure?
that's why we did it. 6 plus 4?
10.
3 plus 5?
8.
10 is greater than 8.
Maybe.
Earth Loa is dead.
What happens, Matt?
We win.
We get loot.
We do get loot.
It has 7 gold on it.
Give me that sweet, sweet loot. Roll that beautiful bean footage. But that's why we did it this way. We definitely planned to spam the gore shot. And we actually got really lucky with our hits before, with us kind of doing some cumulative damage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me doing 7 damage, Josh doing a handful of damage, you doing a damage, reduced his overall health to make it into an actual killable range for Twitch to
Yeah, the
do.
gore shot was fantastic. That
So
was a
we
great use
loosened
of
the
it.
jar lid.
Oh,
So-
jeez Louise. Gore shot does not exhaust. Real OP.
Yeah. So,
The update it does.
we have a special achievement, not quite unkillable. If the Earth Loa is defeated, read the following hidden text.
Can do it.
The Earth Loa crumbles before your might. Gain 1 random mundane relic.
Ooh.
Everybody together. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ah.
Special.
I wish I was special. I hope this mundane relic is
I
special.
hope it's special for me. I think it is my turn to get something cool.
Well, Twitch is the one that killed it. And what did they get? They got a Fate Engine. So a Fate Engine is a passive ability, increase the conviction upgrade to white, and then after a roll is made against you, remove all symbols from 1 die. And that's a 1 per encounter
Do
ability.
you... How many relics can you carry?
I think
1.
just 1.
Huh. Everybody's got a relic.
We take it back to the town with us,
Can we?
Yeah, you can carry up to 3 items on you.
and then we sell it back. Because I don't care about it. I think that makes up for,
you can
for
carry
me
it.
killing us last week. I think this was actually a very well-rounded team effort this time.
You work together.
You're
Go
gonna-
team.
you're
All right. So
carrying
the
it.
round ends. Since a monster didn't activate, we get an urgency token.
Yep.
So, Matt, I believe you have those.
What does that do again?
If we get 5 of them, we lose.
I don't know what.
Because
They
the
kinda look
monster
like
didn't...
a-
What?
Is it the
they're like
scary
long.
red eye?
No, they're like long.
Oh.
They kind of look like a fist or something.
Oh.
Or maybe it's a candle. I don't know.
This one? This thing?
Yeah.
It's like an hourglass.
Why do we get that?
So if there's no monsters,
No no monsters
activate,
activate during a round.
then you get an urgency token. So the game prevents you from just dawdling and gaining up SP. So if you get to 5 urgency tokens, you just lose. So it forces you to rush through a little bit faster. Than just, I'm going to take 3 rounds to do nothing.
But we just murdered it.
Yep, but it never activated this round,
We
so
shouldn't be penalized.
You've said penal. All right, so we get one of those urgency tokens. Then it's going to be my turn. So I'm going to move into the exit space.
You're not gonna move out to that guy's mouth. You stand on its tongue. And
I'm going to
dance.
move to the exit space, and that's going to be the end of it.
You could get up a little from the chair.
So, each party member gains 1 XP, then restore adventurers.
That's nice.
So that's when you get to flip everything. You get all your health back.
Yep.
All that fun stuff. Matt, you can switch over to the main game.
And now we're going to continue to Getting Cocky on page 35.
All right. That's the second page on our
Getting
thing.
Cocky.
You too.
Starts with Van.
It does.
If you could hit it a couple more times. I told you guys we're ready for this.
Nightingale pushed aside the last of the monstrous remains. The sound of strange footfalls now moved away from them.
We're like the best team ever. Pretty sure that reserves a round of high fives.
Bam! Bam! Nobody mocked her enthusiasm this time. Expressions of satisfaction and pride were universal. Even Rook looked proud.
Guess you were right, Nightingale. That wasn't much. That wasn't such a bad idea after all.
Remi returned Nightingale's grin.
We're going to be heroes.
Continue to a strange pedestal on page 37.
What the? That's
Ew.
terrifying.
Ew. Nightingale gingerly picked her way through the hall, being careful not to make a sound. A pair of massive double doors blocked the way, made of wood so old it seemed halfway petrified. Someone was shouting from within. Nightingale felt lucky that the intruder was making enough of a racket to find in the dim light. Nightingale was certain it was a thief. Who else would be down in the vaults? She peeked through the partly open double doors and leaned around the edge of the doorway so she wouldn't alert the thief of her presence. I think that I'm going to be in this stream and not Nikki. This is more your cup of tea? Upon seeing what was in the room, Nightingale immediately froze. She fought back the urge to scream, which turned halfway into a gag as she stared at the abomination that filled the center of the room. It looked like a head, 30 feet tall with skin rotting and pale. Strands of matted, oily hair clung to its clammy flesh, and grasping limbs sprouted from random points along the scalp. They were like dozens of thick arms and fingers that writhed like a centipede that had been cut in half with a shovel.
Can we show off this picture?
Show it in the book.
It's really terrifying.
Nope.
Every time. Every time.
Matt,
That's
move your head. You're covering a person. You're covering the thief.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
that gross.
The room was large and mostly devoid of furnishings, except for some sort of pedestal that sat on the far side of the grotesque monstrosity. Is this me?
Yeah, you're the thief. And the guy.
What should the thief sound like?
I don't know.
I have the right of salvage.
A man stood with his back to her, separating her from the monster. Nightingale mused that this must be the thief. He was attempting to claim whatever was on the pedestal behind the horrible creature. He sounded far more confident than she would have been.
You can't stop me.
I don't know how confident that is.
The creature laughed, throwing back a jaw that hinged open to reveal more appendages. Every pale digit had become a row of glittering teeth.
What?
It wasn't laughter as ever Nightingale had known it before. It was like the last breath of the dying, shifting octaves lower and much louder.
I
No,
am
yeah,
home.
this is the bag. This is the big head.
Oh, this is the big head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It doesn't sound like
No.
Droopy.
I am Hogrivar, Lord of the Vaults. I have right to every treasure here.
Not this one.
The thief said, stepping forward. Curiosity fought against her fear, and Nightingale moved closer to get a better look at what the thief was trying to steal. Atop the pedestal, she could see a rather benign-looking shard of rock. Its faint glow reflected a red hue from the cushion it was on. It looked as if it was placed deliberately, but by whom she didn't know.
You.
Wait, which one is this?
The
The
thief.
thief.
You have no use for such an artifact.
The thief started yelling now.
Let me pass and I'll make it worth your while.
The thief's Porky Pig. That's not Porky Pig, that's Droopy.
The creatureographer furrowed its obscene brow as it contemplated the offer. Then something tumbled across the ground. Nightingale accidentally kicked a stone across the floor, and the creature looked in her direction, its single, gigantic eye fixing on her. Her heart seized in her chest as the monster's apparent amusement turned to anger.
No, this is Hogarth.
Hographer.
Coward, you couldn't face me alone. This thief is less than a worm.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
It raised one of its massive tooth-filled mouths at the end of an elongated finger as thick as Rook's torso.
Matt, that voice reminds me of the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin.
A little bit, yeah. Nightingale tensed.
Dr. Claw. Yes. Get back!
Her shout came too late. There was a harsh tearing sound that, like she might have heard in a butcher's shop, as Hographer ripped open the man's belly. Blood sprayed through the air with an audible gurgle.
No!
The thief fell. Her body moved on instinct, and before she knew what was happening, she was sprinting towards his limp figure.
Get him away from me!
Get away from him.
Yeah, that one too. Get away from
Her friends jumped into action as well. She felt a surge of pride filling her, knowing that she hadn't been abandoned. The monster swept aside their blows like it might an annoying insect. Their attacks slid like water from its hide without effect. Rook went slamming backwards as the massive finger knocked the air from his lungs and sent him tripping over himself. Remi and Zeke weren't far behind, each sent flying with casual ease. Nightingale charged, leaping with her weapon outstretched, but it caught her in midair with a swipe, smacking her across the middle and tossing her through the air like a child's toy. She was only dimly aware of striking the ground. Her weapon was sent spinning out of her grip as she slid to a stop. Behind her, the sound of cruel laughter echoed through the chamber. Nightingale didn't lie still for very long. She felt her tail twitch, her limbs spasming one at a time as she regained control. Gurgling breaths came from somewhere so close she could almost feel the heat.
No.
Nightingale fought the pain, forcing herself to sit up. The world was still spinning, but it was clear enough to see what had happened. The monstrous Hografar had knocked her towards the injured thief. There was more blood than Nightingale had ever seen in her life. It pooled on the ground around him, with the torn threads of his shirt mixed freely from the wound. For a moment, time stood still as she tried to process the image. She crawled weakly towards the ground, reaching for the thief.
I'm coming.
Ew. She squeaked, her voice coming out in a slur. She clawed her way through the grime, fumbling through her gear with one shaking hand.
This is the thief.
Oh.
Damn you! Get away from me!
He coughed, blood pouring from his lips. He tried to shove her vainly away with one hand.
Get away!
Nightingale ignored him. The man was obviously in shock. He didn't know what he was saying, and there was no chance she would listen.
I'll stop the bleeding or something.
She searched desperately for the source of the blood pooling from the wound. She pushed, but couldn't manage enough pressure to do anything but cover her hands in warm, thick fluid. The man's skin was pale, his insides opened and exposed. Every second brought another pulse of blood, some splattering on her bare skin.
Get away!
The man's breathing was slowing to a dull rattle. He pushed one of her legs, but the gesture was as futile as her attempt to stem the blood.
I'll help you.
She insisted again, leaning closer. There was probably healing magic for a wound this terrible. Magic that someone who'd actually earned a spot in the Demiurge would know.
Menu. Meh.
The word came out in a hoarse rattle, bubbles foaming at the thief's mouth as he gasped. He suddenly shook one last time, then finally fell still. Nightingale watched him die. There was a moment of silence. She didn't know that her friends were still stunned from their blows. She didn't think about the horrible monster behind her. Nothing made sense as she stared down at the body. Then something started to hiss and bubble in front of her. The corpse wasn't still. Something darker than blood seemed to be leaking from his face. Nightingale pushed him away, blood still coating her arms
Oh my goodness.
and soaking into her clothes. A few moments proved the tar-like ooze was not leaking. It was clawing its way out, pouring out of the man's mouth and piling up atop him. It surged from behind his eyes, out his ears, and out the pores of his skin.
Ew.
She only had a second to see it, the black mass sloshing about within itself,
It's the
and
worst.
with each movement, strange lights flickered from within.
Worst blackhead ever.
It had dozens of eyes, no two alike in size or shape. They seemed to move freely, pointing directly at objects instead of pivoting to face them. Within a second, they were all pointing at her. What? Oh.
That's the monster that he was talking about with eyes all over.
If you go back and look at the page before is the picture of it.
Oh, I got it. I got it now. It's not on a unicycle, though.
Nightingale tried to scream as the thing surged towards her. She put her arms up, but it didn't hinder the ooze at all. It had no limbs, yet the whole thing latched onto her face, like the malicious pseudopod of a feeding amoeba. Fierce cold boiling to her at her skin where it touched, so cold it burned. Her scream choked in her throat as the monster pried her jaws open wider, filling her mouth. The seeping tar sucked into her eyes, and she could feel the pressure of it pushing into her skull. The pain was overwhelming, screaming throughout her body. The darkness consumed her vision and her mind until her consciousness faded. Rook moaned. Despite the pain making every movement stiff, he knew he had to act. That's your burp moan. The creature was still here, and he could easily kill him. He had to get up. He had to help his friends. He rose, grunting. In the darkness, his surroundings seemed to blur, yet one shape formed before the others. It was Hogrifar, looming in the murky shadows. Far worse, it was holding Nightingale in the air by one of her horns. Rook couldn't speak, instead fumbling for his weapon. He didn't dare do anything sudden, lest he startle the monster into killing his friend. Hogrifar held Nightingale very near between two grotesque fingers, inspecting her closely. Was this Hogrifar?
Yes.
Okay.
Where did you go? Acquired a new host, perhaps trying to hide inside another body?
It was searching Nightingale's face with a massive eye. Rook tensed, readying for a vain attempt at an attack. After a few seconds, the monster started laughing again, and Nightingale shook vigorously in its grasp.
Damned fool!
Hogrifar called, voice so loud that the groan seemed to shake.
She just saved my life from that parasite.
Hogrifar seemed to be smiling through the appendages leaking from its mouth.
That's disgusting.
Rook had no time for rational thought. He charged, crossing the room far faster than his size made him look capable of, lifting a massive weapon in both hands. This is the first time that he was able to move fast. He didn't feel like doing it before. Hogrifar didn't see him coming, nor did it turn towards the sound of Rook's pounding steps. Rook struck as hard as he could, aiming straight for the joint of one of the creature's fingers. The half-rotten flesh parted, spraying foul-smelling slime. Hogrifar screamed, its voice sounding continually shriller as it went. Nightingale landed with a sick-sounding thump at Rook's feet. Rook didn't slow as he scooped her into his arms, running towards the smallest, shortest door in the room.
Follow me!
Rook bellowed towards Zeke and Remi. Despite their recent beating, the two were both on their feet and weren't far behind him. They ran for their lives. Rook couldn't have said where he went. At each fork and junction, he picked a direction at random, so long as the way looked clear. The ground shook behind him, and Hogrifar's terrible screeching still sounded in his ears. Rook ran until his gut started to ache, oblivious to anything but the placement of his feet and Nightingale in his arms. The sound of pursuit faded to a distant echo, and only then could they stop. Rook dropped to his knees, lowering Nightingale to the ground in front of him. Zeke was the first to speak. His voice came so casual it sounded forced. Did either of you catch the way we came?
No.
Remi dropped to the ground beside Rook, nudging at Nightingale's cheek with one hand. To Rook's surprise, Nightingale started coughing. She whimpered like an injured animal. Her eyes opened, and for a quick instant, they seemed cloudy.
What happened?
She moaned.
Are you all right?
Rook asked in his low voice.
Are you kidding?
Nightingale shook her head once, as though trying to shake water out of her ears.
What the hell was that on the pedestal that was worth fighting a monster like that? And what was the horrific dark creature that came out of the dead thief?
Everyone gave her a strange look before Rook asked.
Something came out of the thief? What do you mean, something came out of the thief? I only saw the giant head. Hogrifar.
Nightingale shook her head, trying to remember, but it was all a blur.
Oh, God. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, we have bigger problems to worry about right now. Zeke gestured around the little room, some kind of old storage area off the main hall by the look of it. We're lost. I was trying to keep track of where we went, but I don't have a goddamn clue anymore. That thing...
We get it.
Remi sighed.
This place goes down as deep as the towers go high. That's what they say. Thousands and thousands of rooms. And at least one of them has a gigantic monster that's probably looking for us right now.
Zeke offered Nightingale his hand and helped her stand. She swayed on her feet, but only a little. You got any smart ideas, Rook? Zeke pulled what looked like his last crumbled cigarette out. Rook sighed.
I've got one idea, but you guys have to be cool about it. Nobody freak out.
That sounds like ideas that Josh proposes. Like that's how you propose ideas. Nobody freak out.
Nightingale still looked drained, but there were a few bright twinges around her cheeks.
You serious, Josh? After meeting, what did it call itself? Hographer?
Okay, right.
He reached up to his neck and removed the amulet that hung there.
Suri?
He didn't say it so much as he thought it, calling out through the strange amulet with focused will to a place he never should have touched.
Siri? Yes, Rook?
As usual, the answering voice came almost instantly, created from nothing, yet audible by everyone nearby.
You sound upset.
I am.
Rook said to the empty air all around.
Do you have the strength to manifest now?
The reply came with a little reproach.
There are 3 others in the room with you. When we first spoke, I told you my kind was forbidden in your world, and both of us would be in great danger if your kind learned of our friendship.
Rook glanced once at each of his friends in turn, Nightingale still looking as if she'd been wrung out, Zeke forcing himself to calm, and Remi was shaking with nervous fear. He sighed.
I trust them, Suri. We need your help.
As you wish.
Light began to glow from the amulet, a magenta that overwhelmed the gloom and grew bright enough to radiate through the open doorways around them.
So
Rook was numb to wonder by now. What?
that's it.
Oh. That's what that thing is. It's a backpack. A magenta that overwhelmed the gloom and grew bright enough to radiate through the open doorways around them. Rook was numb to the wonder by now, though he couldn't miss the shocked expressions of his friends had, as the light grew so bright it seemed to take solid form. Rook knew little of Suri. Every time they'd been together, she had taken this shape. Greenish and vaguely human, with a body of radiant energy that blurred into swirling light the lower you looked. Her hair was electric blue and waved as though in an invisible wind. Whoa! Zeke's cigarette hung limply from his mouth as his eyes widened.
Hi.
Suri bounced on nothing, though she never got more than a few feet from Rook. The amulet continued to glow, though it had dimmed down to something far more tolerable.
Everybody, this is Suri.
No, it's Siri.
Rook
Navi.
waved towards his friends as he introduced them. The spirit darted a little nearer to each one as he named them, examining each from head to foot. She didn't offer to shake hands or anything else similarly polite. How did... Rook cut Zeke off with a tired gesture.
Later.
He turned, fixing his eyes on the glowing spirit.
Siri, we're completely lost down here. Can you help us find the way out?
Remi gasped as Suri vanished.
Did she just leave us?
She said with a concerned look. Rook shook his head.
It's complicated to explain. If she left us, the amulet wouldn't be glowing.
Before he could explain further, Suri returned in a bright flash of purple light.
I found the way.
Suri grinned, pointing with one hand at a nearby open door. A glowing trail formed in that direction.
Best get moving.
Continue to a way out on page 32.
It's the very first page I printed out. I don't know why they put it in that order, but that's...
Oh, damn it. I know you labeled them too. Your friends are good at this.
Suri glided along in front of Rook as they made their way through the ruined halls. It seemed the closer they were to the surface, the more had crumbled away, eaten by time and air and corroded into crumbling metal or chalk-like rock.
Yeah.
Rook still had a weapon within reach if he needed it, but he wasn't holding it ready anymore. So far, they had managed to avoid anything that might try to stop them from leaving the vaults. In fact, they saw nothing more dangerous than occasional stray vermin. It seemed the lesser creatures of the upper vault had learned to stay away, probably due to Hographer's nearby presence.
Thanks for the directions. We'll have to bring a map next time we go exploring.
Remi said.
Maybe next time we can pick somewhere safer to adventure? We could help innkeepers deal with the rats in their basements. Maybe. Inquiry.
Suri didn't meet Remi's eyes so much as she watched her wings.
Do the mortals of this realm routinely invoke the help of skilled professionals to get them out of minor problems they could have solved on their own? Would it involving experienced, instituted graduates be an unwise investment of your time?
No, Zeke grunted. On Earth they did. People on Middara usually have more sense. Zeke left a trail of smoke behind him. Rook wondered where this new cigarette had come from, but took it as a good sign. They were recovering from their experience, except maybe Nightingale. Her skin was strangely pale, and she took every spare moment to rest that she could. Suri slowed a little as she considered Zeke's words, then shrugged. It was one of the first gestures she had learned to imitate, though Rook still wasn't sure if it meant the same thing to her.
This is the way out. The security bar on the other side is unlocked, so you should be able to open it.
She gestured at a strange section of the wall, where intricate metal clamps anchored to a round metal door. There had been words written here once, but Rook couldn't make them out anymore. They pushed together, and the rusting doors squeaked slowly open, letting them out into the ground surrounding the white spire. Zeke led the group towards his family's manor, and nearly 20 minutes later they had arrived at the Zhang House, a large white building Zeke called home. Continue to a dark passenger on page 40.
Where we left off before.
Nightingale collapsed on the ground, pressing her face against it for a few seconds. She fairly certain she'd never been happier to be away from adventure in her life. We made it. Thank God.
She let out an exhausted sigh. Behind her, Suri's voice was barely a whisper.
What is this place? It seems to be humming with magical energy.
Zeke moved to lock the door behind them with a loud click, then turned towards Suri. My family uses it as a dorm for their kids while they attend the Institute. I've been told it was already built into the foundation of the rock when this land was claimed. It's supposed to have various magical enchantments to keep us safe.
It seems it just might.
Suri floated gently past Nightingale, looking between each of Rook's friends.
It was very nice to meet you all. I don't think I've ever seen so much of your world at once. Perhaps it will happen again.
Maybe, Zeke began, but the spirit didn't linger to hear it. There was a faint pop and a flash of purple light. The place she'd been was empty, and Rook's amulet ceased to glow.
Sorry about that. Suri's a little oblivious to common courtesy.
I don't know if certain people know what a shrug means. Rook offered his hand to Nightingale.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Nightingale took the offered hand, rising again. It was more than a little strain on her body, but she managed not to sway.
I think I just need some rest.
You should visit the castle first.
Rook watched her, looking concerned. Zeke and Remi were watching her too.
Your father has excellent doctors. After what happened,
Nothing happened.
Nightingale found herself tensing, her tail snapping once behind her. Even as she said it, she saw a brief image of a black ichor boiling from the dead thief's mouth.
really, you mentioned that something had come out of the thief, some kind of dark creature.
Rook looked from Remi to Zeke.
Did either of you see what happened to Nightingale?
Nah. Zeke looked down, frowning. After that thing knocked me back, it gets a little fuzzy. Remi nodded.
My dumb wings were in the way. I didn't get up again until I heard her scream.
Nightingale could only remember a strange amorphous shape sprouting toward her after she'd tried to save the dying thief. She shivered, glancing down at the ruins of her dress. It was brown and crusty with dirt and dried blood. She had tried to push the image from her mind.
That thing, it called itself Hografar, right? It must have hit me first, that's all. You're fine. I'm fine.
She was shaking her head.
How about we don't go anywhere near my father tonight, Rook? Remember, he's the reason I went into the damn vaults in the first place.
All right.
Rook sighed.
I'm not sure where else we would go, though.
You can crash here. Zeke gestured at the living room with a lit cigarette. We've got this whole mansion and everything. Might as well use a few of the extra rooms. You too, Remi. After a night like this, you probably need as much sleep as the rest of us.
Perfect.
Nightingale nodded, forcing a more enthusiasm into the response than she really felt. The next hour passed in a blur to Nightingale. She ducked away first to wash off all the blood and to change into clean clothes. After that, she ate some leftover soup as Zeke prepared a few spare rooms for their use. Nightingale fell asleep nearly instantly. However, it was not a restful night. Nightingale dreamed of the white vaults where the floor stretched away to an endless darkness, and an alien monstrosity of writhing limbs guarded something she wanted. Hografar was there, its proportions even more hideous than she had remembered. The shadows of the disparate parts writhed, all reaching for her. Nightingale watched herself try in vain to save the thief, watching him die before her eyes. Something even worse than the freakish Hografar poured from the corpse and latched onto her face, its body a hideous mass of swirling eyes and mouths and teeth. Eventually she saw herself collapse, overwhelmed by the agony she remembered quite well. Her dream self's eyes opened, staring at her. There was something dark behind them, an alien intelligence anathema to life as she knew it. Nightingale woke with a start, shooting upright into the gigantic four-poster. The early light of dawn streamed in from one window, filling the room with its glow. Something reached for her shoulder, blocking out the light. Nightingale jerked violently away, twisting off the bed and landing with a painful thump on the floor. She came back up a second later, panting with her weapon in hand, all trace of drowsiness gone. There was nothing there. Nightingale took a deep breath to calm herself. She set her weapon down finally, then made her way downstairs. The kitchen was busy, though not with servants or staff. Instead, she was more than a little surprised to see Remi, Rook, and Zeke already waiting. "Hey, Night." Zeke raised a spatula in mock salute. "Feeling better?"
Yeah.
Nightingale didn't meet his eyes as she lied, looking around at the mess. Eggs and flour were everywhere,
Sounds like
along with other stains that she couldn't easily identify.
sounds like your kitchen. Did something blow up?
"Yes!" Zeke began.
No.
Remi and Rook answered at exactly the same time, both looking abashed. Rook glared once at Remi before continuing.
We had some disagreements about whether
Animism.
ananism could be
Animism.
used
Nope,
to
don't
make
let it
an
go.
omelet.
Remi wiped a sheen of slime away from her face with a cloth and then tossed it onto the counter behind her.
Turns out it was not a good idea.
Zeke scooped a fresh and completely inanimate omelet out of the pan and onto a waiting plate. "After yesterday, we weren't going to get you until everything was ready. Did the explosion wake you?"
No.
Nightingale grinned. She helped straighten things up, and the four of them sat down to eat. It was only after she had eaten her portion and the scraps left over from everyone else that Nightingale realized just how hungry she'd been. As they finished up, someone knocked on the door, and Zeke left to deal with it. He returned a moment later with a familiar figure just behind him.
Kufu!
Nightingale. Nightingale was up in an instant, practically bouncing with energy. She loped over and hopped around him for a friendly hug.
What are you doing here?
Khufu pried her off gently, looking a little stern. "Your father sent me. You're urgently needed back at the castle." He looked between them. "Zeke, you've been called for us as well." Zeke and Nightingale exchanged a look, a worried look. Khufu ignored their exchange. "You're the new knight, right?" Khufu had to look up a little to meet Rook's eyes. "Yar, you too?"
Oh, you guys are so screwed.
Remi drawled with a worried tone.
I bet they found out what happened last night.
Khufu turned, facing Remi with obvious confusion. "What? What do you mean? What happened?" Remi looked away, one of her wings twitching.
Never mind. In either case, I'm not royalty, and I'm not Nightingale's knight. I'm sure your family won't want me to tag along.
Nightingale bit her lip, considering. It probably wasn't a good idea to antagonize her father after being summoned for discipline. She darted over, hugging Remi briefly.
I don't care.
She was smiling at Remi.
Please come with us. Forget what my father wants. I want you there. Oh, okay.
It was hard to tell if Remi looked nervous or relieved.
It's not like I've got anywhere else to be now that we've graduated and all.
"Yar, the sooner we leave, the better." Khufu glanced back at the hallway he came from. He looked a little worried now. "King Balthazar didn't say what this was about. He only did say that I had to fly here as fast as I could."
I've got a pretty good idea what it's about.
Nightingale groaned, running one hand through her unruly hair. So much for having enough time to get ready.
Let's just go. Waiting for him to get even angrier isn't going to make it any better.
Continue to the Arson Castle on page 42.
You mean the next paragraph?
The next paragraph. Arson Castle was just on the outskirts of the city, a lone monolith in the center of the city's mysterious lake. As they crossed the imposing bridge, there was only a trickle of those with official business coming and going. Remi realized how different it looked up close and in the light of day. She looked over at Rook, who seemed just as awestruck as she felt.
I guess I'm gonna have to get used to coming here.
Rook muttered, staring off at the distant castle. Remi followed his eyes and found herself suddenly shivering. There was something off about the castle, something she hadn't noticed before. Maybe it was the proportions. Most of the windows looked too large from a distance. The front doors might be massive and intimidating, but they were also directly in proportion with everything else. As they continued to cross the bridge, she refused to look over the side into the swirling water far below. Something was swimming around down there, always circling, always waiting.
You and me both.
Nightingale looked uncomfortable.
You can tell it wasn't built by humans. They did their best to make it livable, but you can still tell.
It was originally a fortress, not a castle.
Rook nodded. It's in the middle of a lake. I bet tearing it apart and rebuilding it was pretty expensive, Zeke said, flicking the charred butt of a cigarette over the edge of the bridge and down into the moat.
Let me do the talking.
Nightingale said, her voice flat.
Look, what we got into was my fault. You tried to stop me, Rook, and the rest of you were against it, too. My father can think whatever he damn well wants to about me, but I don't want this hurting you guys.
If you say so.
Rook said. Despite his words, Remi didn't think Rook was even going to consider Nightingale's instructions. They moved quickly up to the doors, where a pair of armed soldiers waited. Servants ushered them in, muttering deferentially to Nightingale and Zeke, and not asking about the others. They were quickly brought into the throne room, where a meeting was already in session. The king and queen sat on their thrones, backs straight and expressions mask-like. Balthazar looked even more tense than he'd been at the party, and Kezia had bags under her eyes. They weren't alone either. Nightingale's brother and sister were there, along with Zeke's uncle Yoon and his mother Ida. With the way he behaved last night, Remi never would have thought that Yoon would have been at a royal gathering.
How considerate my little sister to grace us with her presence.
Yol muttered, just loud enough for them to hear as they approached the thrones.
We've only been waiting, what, an hour?
Balthazar did not reply. Instead, he rose, clearing his throat.
Welcome back, daughter.
He nodded respectfully to Zeke.
I'm relieved you made it also. This information concerns your family as well as ours.
The king hardly seemed to see Rook standing there, though at least there was nothing judgmental in Balthazar's expression. For Remi, there was only confusion and a little annoyance on his face. Nightingale seemed to have noticed too, because she reached back, resting one arm on Remi's shoulder. Remi could see Nightingale's body tense under her father's gaze. Balthazar looked as though he were going to say something about Remi's presence, then sighed and sat back down.
There's little time. Rulers and guardians of Elenia, Koza and I should already be on the road. We cannot waste time with the formalities. I would prefer.
Ida cleared her throat, though she didn't rise from her seat.
Your memorial hunt. I could never forget the day.
Her voice was more than a little strained. Balthazar bowed his head slightly in Kezia's direction.
I will bring the most glorious trophy yet in Lo's memory, Lady Ida. You have my word.
She sighed.
I'm sure he would have been flattered.
Unfortunately, this year's hunt has come at an inappropriate time.
Balthazar continued. He looked to Kezia, seating himself again on the throne. He sat back down and Kezia rose. The queen was every bit Balthazar's match for confidence, her voice clear and loud in the mostly empty throne room.
You are all aware of the growing tension between Elenia and our nearest neighbor, the Empire of Brahma.
Not really.
Nightingale interrupted.
I know they've hated us since Elenia was founded, but I don't know why or why it always seems to be getting worse.
Kezia turned towards Nightingale, but didn't seem angry to have been interrupted.
The details would take time. We don't have to explain. Suffice it to say that Brahma has always claimed Elenia as its territory, but never used it. When we declared our independence, they failed to recognize us as a state.
Yol spoke up from his chair.
Braham is larger and more powerful than
Broham?
Elena.
It is not Broham.
Braham.
It is now Broham.
Braham. The best intelligence we have suggests their soldiers outnumbers ours 10-1. They have their own version of the merge.
Just a cabal of sorcerers.
A cabal of sorcerers and mercenaries called the Grim Deacons.
Deacons.
Deacons. That
V.
is the next word I got stuck.
Words, Josh. Words.
T-H-E. The.
The initiation rites alone would leave you scar.
That's enough.
Kezia interrupted.
The peace envoy.
Thank you, Kezia.
Enough. It's quite enough. The peace envoy will be arriving within the month. Yol will conduct the negotiations and attempt to alleviate tensions before they escalate things.
Oh, I don't
This is
even know.
Ida.
I forget what she is.
You've been doing the same voice for
I know. This is going to be terrible. Yol? Why Yol? Oh.
Ida Young's voice was matter-of-fact, her arms folded.
Take this as no slight to your son, but Yol is incapable of handling such delicate matters. He is hot-headed.
Yol simply nodded at the remark, unfazed by the comment. Kezia threw her a sideways look.
Ida, I have no choice. I have confidence that he'll do fine. His work at delegating peace in Fair Edge has been commendable. You mean Shalis works in Fair Edge? Ooh, she's sassy, Ida said, glancing sideways toward Nightingale's sister. Shalis stood. Yol and Nalia have proven themselves more than capable at diplomacy. If it wasn't for them, I might be on the gallows in Fair Edge right now. Speaking of Nalia, where is she?
Ida tapped her fingers rhythmically on the chair she sat in.
My wife has left to Fire Edge. The Wolfric family has requested her presence as a formality. We're playing along.
Yol said calmly. Ida relaxed a little.
Kezia, it should be you who delegates the peace envoy. You could sell a king his own castle. If you're not going to be here, that must mean you're leaving to the west. Unfortunately, yes.
Kezia said with a look at Ida.
Oh, I got them confused.
Remi's friends looked as confused as she felt. Remi looked between the two noble ladies, trying to read whatever silent conversation had passed between them.
Sass. We don't have high hopes for the negotiations.
Kezia continued.
Brahma knows they have us outmatched. We're afraid they may have come to offer terms we can't accept. I will not be attending the negotiations because I will be visiting some of our closest allies to secure military aid against the invasion we believe may be inevitable.
Kaiser will be traveling back to her parents' house in the far west. The Caro family will aid us if the worst do transpire.
Balthazar said.
I expect the rest of my family to be in attendance when the Romanian
No.
declaration arrives.
It's not.
He turned, glancing to the little cluster of chairs the Youngs had pulled together.
And as many of yours as can be available, Lady Ida. My son has Elenia's best interests at heart, but he lacks the wisdom that comes of experience.
Balthazar rose to his feet again, resting one hand on the hilt of the sword at his waist.
Should Yol be killed, the succession will be passed to Shalis, and then to you, Nightingale. May there be no need.
Why am I here?
Nightingale asked, and Balthazar paused.
We keep our business private,
He said.
but you're graduated. You're part of the family now, Nightingale. That means you're part of our meeting from now on, too. Did you think politics was all about running our city? Prepare yourself, daughter. We fought for our kingdom, and we'll likely be fighting to keep it.
He turned, offering his hand to Kezia. She took it, rose, and glared down at them.
I expect all of you to be on your best behavior while we're gone.
Nightingale nodded and watched as a retinue of soldiers followed closely behind her parents as they left the room. Remi found herself out in the courtyard of the castle. Together the group watched from the balcony as King Balthazar departed in an extravagant carriage. Zeke was smoking again, though he looked a little uneasy. Sometimes I wonder if going through the advancement made all of us lose our minds. Nobody realizes because we're all just as crazy. He looked away. Low was my dad, but if it were me, I'd still put the memorial hunt on hold if it were like my kingdom was going to be invaded. You know?
Must be important hunt.
Rook muttered.
I'm not going to assume they don't know where they're doing. I'm guessing there is more to it.
I don't care what nefarious things my dad does on his lame hunt. I don't want to think about politics or war or any of that. We need to be more positive.
Nightingale waved at the retreating carriage. Zeke raised an eyebrow. More positive? Like how if everyone dies, you become queen?
What? No, you dolt. Sorry.
Nightingale put a hand on her hip.
I mean that my dad is gone.
She still looked pale, yet some of her original energy seemed to be bubbling back.
We graduated yesterday. We're full citizens of Middara. There's a whole world full of adventure out there. And the only one who might stop us is riding off in that carriage.
Zeke nodded. I've meant to get out into Elenia proper. What's the point of being able to leave the Institute if we spend all our time at home? My family left me with some cash as a graduation present.
Mine did too.
Nightingale seemed to be getting more excited by the moment.
I bet if we pulled it, we could have enough for new gear for all of us. Elenia's always been a hub for adventurers. I bet we'll find some great stuff.
Nightingale and Zeke pulled out small pouches and began counting how much gold they had. The party gains the following bonus depending on how much XP the adventurers have earned.
Including XP they have spent.
So how much XP have we earned?
Okay, so right now it says that we each have 4, but we had spent XP.
We spent 3, so it's
7. Bleh.
So we get 10 gold.
That's lame.
Parents are
Per
really stingy.
the party gains 10. Oh, that's lame. Okay.
Ugh. Nightingale's excitement was infectious. Even Rook's mind started turning. She seemed rather determined to get herself into danger on a regular basis. Some new gear might just be what needed to be a better night.
Could be fun.
He agreed.
And when we're done,
Nightingale hardly even seemed to hear him.
we'll have everything we need to finish exploring the vaults.
They all stared. It took a moment to realize what she was suggesting. Are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, Zeke said through a billow of smoke. We got the whole monster mash after us last time. Hographer probably hasn't forgotten about us. Rook cleared his throat.
I admit, I was curious last time, but seen it now. It's out of our league.
Nightingale waved a dismissive hand, her tail swishing about behind her.
We were just not prepared the first time. Think about it. Okay? Picture it. Now that we know Hographer is down there, we can be much more careful. I haven't been able to stop thinking about what was on that pedestal. Whatever it was has to be epic. I mean, some real purple color loot. I'm down. I'm down. Remi's voice was so quiet it was almost a squeak. They all turned, Rook frowning. She cleared her throat, then continued. I mean, we'll have better gear. It's not like we couldn't get away from Hographer last time. Yeah!
Remi embraced, Nightingale embraced Remi, wrapping one arm around her shoulder.
Rem Dog gets it.
Zeke extinguished his cigarette on the railing, flicking the butt over the side. It's a stupid idea, but I guess I'm down.
This sounds like just like us.
After we spend some time in the city first.
Yeah, buddy.
Nightingale
Rolling like a
yelled
big
as
shot.
she slapped Zeke on the back. Then she turned to Rook.
You don't have to come.
She began.
I know my father made you knight, but
I'm coming.
Ew. Rook didn't wait for her to finish.
We'll probably need serious help again to find our way around, and you wouldn't have her help without me there.
That's more like it.
Nightingale's grin returned.
But first, let's go shopping!
Continue to story round the city of Alenia, page 47. I don't have that page.
It's in the book. It's just the shop.
Oh, we get to go shopping. Do we go shopping now, or do we go shopping in between?
All right, so tip, buying the right gear. Anytime players are instructed to go to the story round, they go through all the steps listed on the story round. During story round, players can buy new items, spend XP to learn new disciplines, and embark on side quests. Each time players initiate a story round for the first time, a new unique item will be for sale. So if you can't afford it now, you can always come back later when you return with more gold from a side quest. Monsters in Middara can be difficult to kill. For this reason, we recommend prioritizing new weapons over other gear in most cases. If players cannot afford new weapons, it's recommended to embark on a side quest to earn the gold required to purchase the new weapons before continuing the main quest.
More than $10.
The city of Alenia. Shop and train. You may spend gold and learn disciplines with XP. In addition, you may trade any gear amongst your party members and party stash. The store contains the following items and upgrades for sale. After completing this step, return all items to their respective decks. All mundane items, all mundane item upgrades, all upgrades players have materials for, and one random mundane unique item. Limit 1.
Is that what you're doing? Oh. What am I doing?
Pull one.
This is the random mundane unique item. So we've got... Ooh, it's a bow. It is the Bearer of Justice.
Serious.
It is a white and orange die, range 6, two-handed bow weapon. It is a longbow with a passive ability of, if you haven't made a move action this turn, gain +1 to your attack rolls. If you gain this bonus, you may not make a move action this turn. Attacks made against an opponent that dealt damage to an ally... Attacks made against an opponent that dealt damage to an ally since the end of the last turn gain +2 physical damage. Oh, that's interesting. So if the baddie hits one of your friends, it does more damage to it. And then it's got an exhaust ability of, when an opponent within Sphere of Influence deals 4 or more damage to an ally, that opponent is inflicted with Wilt. Also, if you roll 5 shields, you get +6 physical damage.
That's serious. The orange one.
I don't know if it's. I mean, how is it possible? You would
6 or
have
7.
Power.
you would have to empower. So how do you empower again?
It costs 1 SP.
So that's if you really want to go ham. It turns people into bears, yeah. But 6 range. That's pretty intense. And it rolls a white and an orange. Like it's pretty solid.
Yeah. Continue.
So this is one of the items that we've got. We've got all mundane items, all mundane item upgrades. What are mundane item upgrades, Josh?
So they're upgrades to things.
Thanks. Would have never have guessed that.
If you could be a little less specific.
That's a badass bow. 5 shields is a hard roll, but not impossible.
On
Yeah,
a-
I mean, especially if you empower, you can technically roll 4 shields on the empower die.
But then
so
the risk you have there when you empower is if you roll a skull, you take the hit.
is that what it is?
You deal damage to yourself, but I
No,
forget what it is.
you
The-
just miss.
Yeah,
Are
the
you
attack,
sure?
the attack just auto
Gore
fails.
shot had the.
Specific?
Yeah.
All of these?
Yeah, that's a unique mundane weapon, surprisingly.
You didn't answer my question. All of
Yes.
these?
Yes, all of those.
Oh, so there's this one? They're the same.
So this one here, we've got Masterwork. So this is a weapon upgrade. Exhaust when making an attack or when determining the force of a spell, add +1 to the roll. So it gives you a +1 on your weapon. We've got the Masterwork for armor. Look at that. And look at it. Exhaust, if you haven't reduced damage using another ability this turn, reduce physical attack damage dealt to you by 1. Then we've got the core upgrade. Look at it, Dan. When making a conviction check, add +1 to the roll.
Does it?
Okay.
There's just 800 of them.
That's eh.
They
Less
cost
exciting.
15 gold.
15 gold. So how much gold do we have altogether as a party?
72.
So what is 72 divided by 4?
Less than 20.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's 2 less than 20.
So 18.
18.
18 and 18 is 36 is 72. Yeah.
Yeah.
18.
So we have 18 gold each to spend.
Yeah.
So we've also got all mundane items, so juice boxes and stuff like that.
Yep.
We've also are going to have all upgrades players have the materials for.
We don't have any materials.
Okay. And it has a plank.
Monster loot cards that we get.
Okay. So on top of that, remember that we do have. How do we sell stuff back? Because we do have this extra fate engine.
Oh, yeah.
All mundane items sell for 5 besides consumables.
All right. So go ahead and sell this fate engine back for 5.
So now we have 77. And
Do we have
now
anything else that y'all want to sell back?
everybody has 19 and something. No. Oh, wait. At the end of each encounter, gain a random mundane consumable. I need a thing.
A stuff and a thing.
Stuff in a thing. Is it another plank? No, it's just beer. But it's I
Yeah.
like the fortitude. No. Do you
All
have
right.
anything you want to sell?
Is there anything that you would like to buy?
What are the other weapons? I need something.
So we went through them already, but let's.
There's like a buttload of them. I need to.
So we've got the hand crossbow here. So this is a one-handed crossbow. It's range 4. It rolls a purple die. It's got a combo with shield. So when countering, you may choose any target within range of your equipped weapon. And so it's got finesse white die. So if you combo with the shield, you roll a white die instead of a purple, and then it gains +1 armor piercing, so it ignores 1 armor as well. And then you could actually exhaust this to dodge. So this is a very interesting one. And then 2 shields give it +2 physical damage. You've got yourself a buckler. So buckler gives you +1 armor. It can be used with either ranged or melee. It's a one-handed. It rolls a purple die. So that means for melee, it rolls a purple die, or
Nope,
does it?
That's because it only. You normally attack with 2 dice.
Oh, so basically, what this is saying here is that if you have this pair, then you would be able to roll a white and purple die for your attack.
Yes.
Okay. And then it counts only costs only 1 SP to counter when you've got the buckler, and then you can exhaust it to move 1 space diagonally. So it's actually a pretty interesting combo. We've got the short sword, which is what I had originally, which allows you to move one space diagonally and exhaust to reroll a combat die and increases to white. We've got the mundane longbow, which is a one-handed with range 6. I don't know how you use a longbow with one hand.
It's two-handed.
Oh, yeah, it's two-handed. That's why. So passive, if you haven't made a move action this turn, gain +1 to attack rolls. If you gain this bonus, you may not use it twice. And then it's got 2 books as a follow-up of move 1 space. So I think the Bear of Justice, the Justice Bear, is a little bit better than the Mundane Longbow. We've got a Magic Tome. So this is a one-handed book that is with melee. It's a melee book. If you want to slap people with it, I guess. So it's got a passive conviction upgrade, casting upgrade to white, and then flip after resolving a spell you cast if that spell is still available to use. Cast the same spell again. +1 magic damage for 2 books. So we've got a couple of those. We've got a regular crossbow versus a hand crossbow. So this is two-handed, range 4. Flip an unflipped arrow that you control to unexhaust this card. And then exhaust, gain +3 armor piercing. That's interesting. We've got more hand crossbows. We've got a thief dagger. Stop me if you see something you like here, Rand. So this is a one-handed sword. Rolls a purple die. It's got backstab,
Which gives you a +2 bonus and +5 damage when flanking.
Oh, that's nifty. So that's combo light. So you have to have 2 light weapons for that to count. And then it is going to have a once per encounter throw of a purple die. And then you can exhaust it to dodge. Okay. So that is the thief dagger. Then we've got the Qatar. So the Qatar is one-handed. It is light also. So it's got a passive +2 to armor piercing right off the back. And then if you combo it, it has backstab as well. So it's pretty nifty. So there's that one. There's your Morning Star, which Joshua has. We went through that before. We've got a hand axe.
Earn my axe.
It's a one-handed axe, which has combo with a shield, axe, or sword, and exhaust after resolving an attack you made. If the attack missed, make an attack. That's nice, actually. +2 damage, +1 attack. Then we've got some Warhammers. They don't cost 40k, though. It has exhaust to empower, so you don't need to spend the SP to empower it. And then combo Warhammer. If you have 2 Warhammers equipped, a single Warhammer gains heavy. So what does heavy mean, Josh?
-1 movement.
Oh. Why?
That's what they start Rook with, is 2 of those.
Oh, okay.
Why he doesn't do anything in the first thing. And why they upgraded Rook in 1.1 to say he ignores the first instance of heavy. So he can be a little bulkier.
So longsword, which is what I have, you may counter the first attack that doesn't deal damage to each round.
That's a
Wait, what?
two-handed?
Oh.
It's depending on which side you have it on.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm using it one-handed.
Oh.
So I get the finesse orange die and +1 physical damage. If I had it on this side and used it two-handed, I may counter the first attack for free, and then I can exhaust it to dodge.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's also a magic talisman here. So that is a passive casting upgrade to white, and when you make an attack or cast a spell that targets an opponent, empower. So Twitch could get this some good free empowerment if they want. I don't see a point.
That's what they start with, and that's why their gore shot was hurting them.
Yeah. Short sword, there's that. We've got a magic staff. So a magic staff is a two-handed. It rolls 2 purple dice, a passive conviction upgrade to white when determining the force of a spell.
Casting.
Yeah, thank you, casting. When determining the force of a spell, tokens on this card may be spent to add +1 to the roll. So you can exhaust it when you fail to affect a target with a spell, add 1 SP token as an ability token on this card. And then exhaust 1 SP, cast a spell 6, roll the black die, and deal your target 1 magic damage per book rolled. Well, that's interesting. Then we've got the Great Hammer. It's a Frosted Flakes hammer. This rolls 3 die. Is that a black?
Yeah.
Yeah, black and 2 white.
Always empowered.
It's always empowered, so you can exhaust it and follow up to spend 1 SP to push 1 against all adjacent opponents and inflict paralyze. Force 7 plus difference of hit. That's interesting. So you could move people around the map.
Push everyone down the holes.
Yeah. Then we've got the full-on War Axe, which is a two-handed. Does this have 2 sides also? No, it doesn't. So this is a two-handed. Exhaust when determining damage. This weapon gains +1 physical damage from books until the attack is resolved.
That's what I was working with last time. I liked that.
Yeah, and then +1 damage for books or shields and stars. And then we've got the Wand of Missiles, which is what Twitch has already. So is there anything that piqued your interest there, Anne?
I don't think so. There was a lot of fun things to maybe consider comboing, but they're all significant. Like, it would have to be getting 2. There's nothing that combos with my current setup is.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend my 15 gold to buy the Masterwork weapon upgrade. So when making an attack or determining the force of a spell, add +1 to the roll.
Which weapon are you upgrading?
Does it matter?
Yes, because it's attached to that weapon. So I probably would do it on your super awesome sword.
Yeah.
So if you replace your other sword at some point, you don't lose it.
Yep.
You spent 14?
15.
And I'm going to spend 15 for the Masterworks for the armor.
Why?
Because it's if you haven't reduced damage to use another ability this turn, reduce physical damage dealt to you by 1.
But you've got the belts and the cuirass, right? So those both do damage reduction?
Yes, but that's 2 uses. This could be a 3rd use. For my complete counter build. So...
Okay, whatever.
I have one here.
I don't care.
Do you think...
So he spent 30 gold.
Do you think that Twitch would want to do the core upgrade?
So the core upgrade is making a conviction check, add +1 to the roll
No,
result.
maybe not.
I don't think it's needed for them.
What about the armor shield upgrade? But we don't... What's the armors? Mine is the occult shirt. So Twitch doesn't have armor.
Yeah.
So what are how many people... they can have 1, right? So
Yep.
maybe they want to get an armor?
That's probably a good idea. So we've got either the occult shirt, which is what you have, Anne,
Yeah.
which gives you +1 movement, as well as the ability to exhaust and dodge, and if the attack deals no damage, unexhaust this card and get a free counter. It's actually really good.
Yeah, that's what my...
You should get that, Josh, and go counter build that way.
I have enough counters on my build already.
And the badass leather jacket. So exhaust when making a dodge, reroll your dodge attempt, and then passive, reduce physical damage dealt to you from attacks
melee
by
attacks
2.
specifically. And +2 health.
Yeah,
That's not a bad option, I think, for them.
probably. But the thing is, they're not going to take a lot of melee damage because they sit in ranged. So the cuirass might not be bad just because it's an exhaust ability, but it reduces physical damage by 2, so ranged attacks count as well. Just not magic.
There's only 2.
There's not another one. So you'd have to trade.
Is that two-sided? No. Oh, so that is only 2. So do I want to get rid of
2 health.
It's 2 health, but then it has that passive ability of reduce physical damage dealt to you from melee attacks by 1. I'm actually okay with trading Twitch for this.
It's not a bad idea.
I get rid of 1 armor, but then it gives me more passive damage reduction for my counters.
And you're the one who is going to be...
Yeah. As long as there's less swarms of enemies and more like kind of one-time enemy hits, right? I don't think it matters. I think this is the better choice. So I'll say we buy the leather jacket, and then I'm gonna give Twitch the cuirass, which is probably better for them in the long run.
So that would give... That's
I like
15?
that the mage has a cuirass on.
You wanna put
Sure, give us your sweaty armor.
You want to put just so they can see.
So the cuirass is exhaust when you are dealt damage, reduce physical damage dealt to you by 2.
This was 15?
Yes. So Josh, for next time, please reduce my armor to 0 and increase my health by 2. How much gold do we have left, Anne? We spent 45. Because you didn't buy one, did you, Anne?
Nope. But that doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't that make sense?
4, 8. Oh, maybe it does. We have 32 left.
32? But last year I had 33.
There's.
What do you want, Anne? What do you want?
They're not really great options.
We can save our gold. We don't have to spend every red cent that we make.
You don't want to buy a plank?
Why'd you tell him that? Now he's like, I want to buy a plank. You already spent your
It's
gold.
5 gold. You got 5 gold left. 4 gold. So your plank better be the cheapest plank ever.
Yeah, you guys have the, well, you have your wands. Your wands are technically
Planks are
weapons.
10 gold. Why are planks so expensive?
Yeah, you want to throw those up? The wand last time was the super cool thing.
So you've got the one that expands your sphere of influence, and then you've got this wand which allows for rerolls.
The wand of hindsight, I think, was the.
And because you have combo wand, you get to upgrade your casting dice.
I have 4 gold left.
Yes.
I think I'm just going to buy Juice Box.
Juice Box Hero.
He's got straws in his eyes.
Which is 4?
I want to cast Magic Missile. I attack the darkness.
You also all can get another level 1 skill in a different discipline.
But it's XP, right?
Yeah.
And we each have 4 XP. Why can't we
can
get a
we get-
level 2 spell?
Level 2s cost 7, I believe. So I might be. Let me check the SP cost or stuff.
So you can take another level 1 skill within your same one, and that would be 4 XP.
Yeah, it's gonna cost 4.
So it would cost you all 4 if you want another one of the one you've already got. And what does a level 2 spell? 2
I
skill.
think they're 5.
Do I spend the weapon upgrade, or when determining the force of a spell,
Level 2s are 7s.
add +1 to the roll for $15? Is that worth it?
What?
Doing the weapon upgrade?
Yeah, I think so.
I need better armor. I mean, the only things that are left are all like beefing conviction, and that's definitely not what I need.
So Twitch is asking, what can we learn?
So they went with the. Nope, there's a name for that.
Crore.
Oh, that is in the course. The Crore
So
thing.
they can learn any of the other level 1s from anything, including Crore. Come on, Josh. You could hand them over one at a time.
I was looking for. I think they might have got double bagged.
Because there wasn't enough room.
So
Crore's in there.
what's that thick one? That thick one. All right, so
I'm saving my money.
saving all my money for juice.
Okay, so then
So you can get Wretched Tether. Cast a spell 6, the target gains the tether token. Anytime you are dealt damage, the tethered figure is dealt that much magic damage. Anytime you heal, the tethered figure heals that same amount. You may only tether one figure at a time. Allies may choose to fail the conviction check associated with the spell. It's kind of meh. There's the Crumbling Time, which is exhaust, cast a spell 6. Your target is inflicted with Wilt. Josh, what's Wilt?
Wilt
Well, do we lose our money? Why don't we have any money left over from last time?
We
Spent it all.
spent it all.
But we did like to the penny?
Yeah.
When determining damage, roll the black die. For each shield roll, add +1 irreducible damage.
Where's did you
So then there's Imbued Fear. Make a physical attack at... is that a physical attack? I can't see that. Yeah, make a physical attack at +2 physical damage. During this attack, gain Follow-up, inflict darkness, force 6 plus difference, hit where X equals 6 plus the level of your highest core ability. Slightly confusing. Oxygen Siphon. So cast a spell 6 against your opponents, all opponents within sphere of influence, inflict disease. Josh, what's disease?
Disease is you may not have positive effects or remove damage or other effects.
Corrosive Ideal. Exhaust spell 6. Your target is inflicted with poison. Josh, what's poison?
Poison is you are dealt reducible damage equal to half your remaining HP. Poison's really good.
That's significant. That'll do a buttload of damage.
It's your remaining HP, so
It's an exponential decay, but
Yeah.
still, like if they cast that right off the bat, that's nasty. Then they've got To Faust. Passive, anytime you are dealt 3 or more damage from a single source, gain a Vow token. Vow tokens may be spent when dealing damage to add +2 damage of the same type to the target. Adventurers may not exceed 5 Vow tokens in total. That's kind of cool. That's very interesting. So, for tanks, this one actually wouldn't be bad. Because if you do slip up and get hit pretty hard, then you get tokens for you to hit back. No?
Chat saying it's been changed in 1.1 to a purple die for poison. I know you guys are playing originals.
Ah. And then that's all of them from there. So, Anne, can you pass me another set? Oh, I've actually
Purple
got
right there.
purple here. So purple is Subterfuge. So let's review a little bit. Oh, can you get that?
Yep.
Sorry. Quick Blow. Who doesn't like that?
Matthew!
The card. Who doesn't like that card?
Rude.
During the follow-up step of your attack, other than your attack made with Quick Blow, make another attack. You may choose a new target for this attack. During the follow-up step of your attack, other than your attack made with Quick Blow.
So not a follow-up to quick blow. So whenever you do attack, you get a follow-up
For 1 SP?
for 1 SP.
I want that. I think I want that. Just be an attack magnet, no?
Yeah.
Then we've got Precise Strike. Your ranged attacks gain +1 physical damage, and you can exhaust it to empower. Masterwork is only for melee weapons and armor, right?
And course.
Yeah. Kill the Messenger. Make a ranged attack at +2 physical damage. During the attack, gain inflict disease. None of us are really doing ranged attacks. Trick Shot. Exhaust. If you have 2 one-handed ranged weapons equipped, make a ranged attack at +1 to the roll and -2 physical damage. Why would you want that?
Masterworks is only for... I missed it. The question in chat.
We went over
Answer
it already.
Got it. Sorry.
Follow Through. It's a passive ability. When determining damage, you may spend SP. For each SP you spend, add +2 physical damage to your attack. If you have 2 light weapons equipped while flanking, your attacks ignore armor. Oh.
You might want that now, Matt.
Yeah. So I could just spend SP for extra damage, and considering I have a free attack on the front end.
Yep. And then if you have 2 light weapons, you...
But that's only when flanking.
One flanking, yes.
So a little bit of a down shot there. Like the Shadows. Jesus, I keep hitting this damn thing. Move up to 2 spaces. This movement does not provoke break attacks. That would be good for me, too.
Getting way excited. Look at you. I can hear it.
Yeah.
These are the ones
Speed
for that.
and Justice. Exhaust Dodge. If you don't roll a skull, add +1 to the result. Okay. So it gives you an extra armor. And then we went through the rest of those. Interesting. So then we've got the green, which are assemblage. So these are
They're going to be like summoning ones. This is kind of the track
at
that
any. So this is exhaust at any time.
an ally within the sphere of influence may dodge.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Banished knowledge.
So an ally within the sphere of influence gains haste. Josh, what's haste?
Haste is gain +1 SP.
So I can reduce the SP cost of that discipline by 1 if the target is an ally other than yourself. So that's like your thing.
But like that's get +1 SP at the beginning of every turn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can
so
you
get-
stack haste?
No.
Josh, I think you should get this. And then give me SP so that I can damage dump.
I got some cool stuff here too.
Then we've got Sanctuary. Exhaust at any time an ally within sphere of influence may dodge. I think we went over that. Perfect Love. Exhaust, when an ally within sphere of influence would be dealt damage, you or an Esper you control are dealt that much irreducible damage instead.
So at the higher levels of this discipline, you can summon like a monster.
Okay. Then there's Forebode. Exhaust at any time, re-roll any dice except for a black die that you rolled or that were rolled against you. Last Laugh. This is a passive. When you or an Esper you control is dealt damage by an opponent, the source of that damage is dealt 1 irreducible damage. When you or an Esper you control is dealt damage equal to their remaining HP, the source of that damage is dealt their 2 best conviction die worth of magic damage. Interesting. We've got Familiar. Familiar is after learning this discipline, you may choose a familiar and place it face up next to your adventurer. Your familiar
So that's the one that I have right now. I have the Yuxa familiar, which gives me 1 health each time I deal damage. And Euthanasia. Oh, you didn't get to see that one. I thought that was in there. Did you?
No.
That's the one that I'm considering taking.
Euthanasia is young people in the continent of Asia. Make a physical attack. Empower. This attack gains book and shield +2 physical damage. Huh.
That's the one I'm considering.
Interesting. All right, so then Blue, which is the martial ability. We've got Hammer Helm. Passive, your attacks gain +1 physical damage. Exhaust when making a melee attack. If you have a 2-handed weapon equipped, you may reroll any dice in your combat dice
That's
pool.
the other one I'm considering. That's the one that I started with.
Nirvana's Mark. Heal 1. This effect cannot stack. So every turn you're healing 1?
Yep.
That's nice. Chains of Command. 2 SP. Make an attack at range 2. During this attack, gain follow-up. Move the target up to 2 spaces. Force X plus difference of hit, where X equals 6 plus the level of your highest martial ability. We've got Critical Defense. Passive ability. Follow-up. Gain a dodge token. When you are the target of an attack, these tokens may be spent to dodge. Adventurers may not exceed 3 dodge tokens each.
So the other, to go back, the other one is just like you can attack from range 2.
And then push people around.
All right.
Where this one, you get dodge tokens. That's actually pretty good for you, Josh.
Oh.
It's horrible for you. You should take nothing. Hammer Helm we did. Fortuitous Homicide, Exhaust, and gain a counter. Nirvana's Mark. Anticipated Attack. Passive, during your dodge roll, gain 2 books plus 1 dodge. And I think that's it. And we've got some more here. We've got Courage Stifle. Sanctus level 1. Cast a spell 6. Deal magic damage equal to the armor granted by a single item. You may spend 1 SP to deal additional magic damage equal to 1 plus your total amount of Sanctus disciplines.
It's kind of like Gorshot, but a little different.
+2 movement. Movement point cost is not increased by terrain or allies. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yep.
Then we've got Mend. Once per encounter, gain 2 heal tokens. When these tokens are spent to heal an ally other than yourself, gain an SP. Living Bulwark. Once per encounter, when you are dealt damage from an attack, ignore all physical damage dealt to you.
Be good against like big bosses that hit hard.
Yeah. Guardian Angel. Once per encounter, anytime you heal equal to half of your maximum HP.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Intervention. Exhaust, an ally within Sphere of Influence gains an intervention token. Reduce the SP of this discipline by 1 if the target is an ally other than yourself, so it's free. What's an intervention token, Josh?
You can use it to reroll your dice.
All of them?
I believe so.
And magic armor, which is what Josh has now.
Yeah, reroll all dice you just rolled. So you have to reroll all of them.
So, Josh, what are you taking?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Intervention's really cool. Aspect's really cool. Then I'm not going to be the slow person anymore. I can fucking walk through everything.
Yeah, that would be very nice for you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Aspect. Chat says, think we should save our XP for Soul Steel, level 2, then become
Healbot Wizard.
Healbot Wizard.
I like that.
Well, let me look at the level 2s.
So I'm just curious now as to what Soul Steel is on level 2. I am just awful today. 2 SP, passive Crore ability, level 2. At the start of your turn, you and an ally within Sphere of Influence may redistribute any damage tokens that you have between each other. Exhaust, cast a spell 6, deal magic damage equal to half of your total damage. Oh, so that is they want to float around at high damage and then beat people up. Yeah. And so at that point, it'd probably be better for them to have the leather jacket, which gives them more health, so they could have more damage tokens, so they could attack for more damage. Yes?
Sure.
And do you want anything?
I didn't take anything from the store. So here's the thing. Here are the 2 that I'm debating between. I'm debating between Euthanasia and Hammerhelm.
Okay.
And I'm also debating on not spending anything and saving for a level 2.
Yeah.
Because the level 2 for me, I think, is when I get to summon the Esper. And that's what I really think I want to do. I think I'm really excited about that idea. Where's the summoning? Assemblage level 2. Gain summon tokens equal to your highest level assemblage discipline. Spend a number of these tokens equal to the loyal Esper's cost to spawn them within your sphere of influence. The Esper's level may not exceed your highest assemblage level discipline. So give me a level 2 thingy.
So I'm spending my 4 SP. Yeah.
That's interesting.
For
What
XP.
are you buying?
I bought Aspect.
Which is?
The movement.
+2 movement, and I ignore terrain.
So one of the ones in Martial is the Gigas Grip, which if you don't have any ranged weapons attached, you can wield 2-handed weapons as 1-handed weapons.
What is it, a level 2?
It's a level 2. And then you choose 2 dice from all of the dice available for your dice pool. But so yeah, you can start going ape shit with like your lance and a 2-handed warhammer and just be ridiculous.
So she needs to get a level 1 first anyway, so it's a lot of XP she needs to get.
What?
You need to get a level 1
In
martial
that
first
discipline?
before, yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
I don't think you can jump to a level 2.
Oh, this is nasty. Mage Breaker. When making a physical attack, when determining
That's
damage.
both ranged and physical. When
No.
making an attack.
No, it's a physical attack that's either ranged or melee, which is a physical
just
attack.
kidding. Okay, fine.
So, making a physical attack, when determining damage, roll the opponent's best casting die and add that number to the physical damage. Oh, you've got good conviction? Well, F. Or no, you've got good casting? Well, F you. That's funny. Oh, that's neat. Physically perfected. Add X health, where X is equal to the highest level martial discipline. Follow up, gain 1 SP.
If you exhaust.
Oh, that's nasty. Promise. Make a physical attack at +2 damage, +3 armor piercing.
Wow. I think I'm going to take Hammerhelm.
Hammerhelm. Oh, that's cool.
No, you have 1.
Oh.
It's only going to cost you 3.
This
How much did
one's-
yours cost you? 3?
Mine
No.
cost me 4 because I got the same discipline.
Yeah. This one's really cool. Make a separate attack against each figure currently adjacent to you. So you could just run into the middle of like a pile of cavesicles and just be like, yeah, America.
Why was yours 4?
Because I got another skill in the same discipline, so it's that plus the number of already +1 for each level you already have in that.
So if a level 2 in a discipline is a 7+, then it's a 7+.
Of that level.
No, yeah. It's
Oh, it's just a level. Each figure means allies too.
I think I'm going to wind up getting this when I get to level 2. Onslaught. Make a melee attack. Follow up. Make a melee attack. The second
saw
attack
that.
has follow up. Make a melee attack.
Give me my hammer helm.
Hammer helm.
Hammer time.
Stop. Hammer time. So that is your physical attacks gain +1 damage when making a melee attack. If you have a two-handed weapon equipped, you may reroll any of the dice in your combat pool. So now that Josh has the movement, though,
Yeah.
I think it's prudent of me to spend the 3 XP to get the subterfuge follow-through ability, which is when determining damage, you may spend SP. For each SP you spend, add +2 damage to your attack. But because I've got 2 light weapons, when flanking, my attacks ignore armor.
I know you were looking at that one. When determining
So-
damage, you may spend SP. That's the one where you add SP just to add damage to your hits.
But given that Josh is tanking it and gonna probably be running into the middle of the fray like my character, we'll probably be flanking stuff together, and the flanking bonus is more valuable in that case. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna spend 3 XP and grab that too.
it's a different thing, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
different.
it's subterfuge.
And then did we decide? Did everybody decide that
Twitch said that they wanted to.
saving for level
save.
2?
Yeah.
And can you put just a note, like, the total XP we've had throughout the encounter somewhere?
Okay, so how much? You had 7?
Yeah. It's for the full party, so it doesn't... Just somewhere that says, like, how much XP. So, like, when it says, like, how
Yeah.
much your current XP is.
Why does it say page number? Oh, because I guess.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to do?
I think
on
there's a
today's
little
stream?
lift in the book. about what,
Yeah, that's true.
what's for next time.
As a group, choose one of the following and then proceed to its listed page. You may not choose a side quest you've already attempted this adventure. If you have no side quests you can choose or decide that you don't want to explore a side quest, continue venture forth. So we can either do the side quest Loa Problems, page 48. Tip, we recommend playing this one first. Then side quest The Cavesicle Extermination on page 49. And then you can also attempt a bounty, see page 13 of the rulebook. Unintentional Malum Act 1 only comes with a single double skull bounty. So this is a single skull bounty. I don't know what that means.
Can we do all the side quests?
You just
Right
pick
now.
one of them first.
I want to do all of them.
Okay, but we'll have to have chat decide which side quests we're gonna do first,
Okay. So
or if we just want to continue the story.
we're gonna put.
Put up a poll next time.
We could put up. We could put up a Twitter poll.
Or if you're watching this on video on demand, or if you're watching now, tell us what you want to do, and put a comment under the video.
All right, so thank you, folks, for joining us today. This is going to conclude today's presentation of Twitch Plays Middara. Make sure that you're following us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and chatting with us in our Discord channel where...
We do all the shopping sometimes. Sometimes we do all the shopping.
There you go. Glad you corrected yourself. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime, which means you get 1 free sub, and we'd love it if you use it on us. When you're a sub, you get access to a bunch of other stuff. You get access to giveaways. We just pulled the sub-only giveaway yesterday. Congratulations to Dark Citadel for that one. And we've also got a couple of other things going on for subs. And you don't have to use Amazon Prime. You can just buy the subscription yourself. And remember, you get extra entries into all of our main giveaways, as well as more votes in all of the polls that we do. Join us for all of our upcoming streams. So we're changing up our schedule a little bit, but next week, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing our continuation of Twitch Plays Middara.
So we're moving tonight to Monday. the
Wednesday
Monday
is
coming
now
up.
Monday. Change your calendars.
Yep.
So we will be doing it then. So join us at Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our continuation of this, where you guys can vote on which side quest you want to go on.
And we're gonna lose Matt.
Yeah, I won't be here. Sorry, guys. But I trust Josh to play my character and flank with him as well. So that's another reason why I did that one. So Middara Monday. Then Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're still going to be doing Twitch Plays Kingdom Death, so join us for that at 8
Lantern
p.m.
Year 4.
Lantern Year 4 with
Three
three people
survivors.
left.
Yeah.
Then join us on Wednesday next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our Spotlight of...
I think we're going to do Ascension's
Skulls and Sails.
Skulls and Sails.
I mean, I'm cool.
Other than that, thank you all for joining us today. We really do appreciate it.
And thank you to Elzra.
For sponsoring this stream and all of this week's streams with their Spotlight of Catacombs Cubes live on Kickstarter. Supposed to be today, but I didn't see
Supposed
it.
to be today, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know if they postponed it or what happened. But yeah.
Alrighty. But, again, thank you all, and we hope to see you again soon. I'm Matt.
I'm Ann.
Josh. Bye-bye.
Did you forget who you were?
A little bit.